My thoughts have never been clearer. I see what you're doing to me now. They lie, they steal, they fooled us. Deep down I probably knew that. I think I will be holding on to the one thing that I know is stronger. Love is blind and no one's perfect. Platinum seems so shallow, 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 shallow. But you are bright, white gold.
Well, my bro, he knew all about the danger. Broke his soul, made the integration. But he found love in an ice-cold nation. Singing songs and dreaming of our own. Calling on leaders to heed my call. It's time to stand together, my brother. Heed the call. It's time to stand together, shake hands and help a broken stranger.
All right. See how we get into here tonight. Using a different mic. I've kind of reset up some things, but yet in a different fashion. I'm actually looking at you with the A5100 at the moment. I'm going to swap back and forth tonight. I'm trying to do some different things. Here's the 6400. I got to keep an eye on that because it tends to want to... we got focus issues. I'm working on it. It's probably grabbing things. We're working on it. So I thought while we waited to get some people in here, and we'll see what people we do get in here. I thought we just let things burn out while I'm trying to drink my Mr. Coffee Talk head, potato head. I'm kidding. I love my coffee cup from Coffee Tech. Little Java beanies or whatever he's just decided to call us. Got my tablet up here. I've got some notes from Notion because I've learned that I absolutely cannot remember more than 5 words at a time. So using that, in fact, I use this as a teleprompter. We'll maybe talk about that later. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. It may be just me and the Ryan family tonight, and that's fine. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's a sweet coffee mug. Appreciate that. All right, so let's see what we got going on. I'm going to bring in John here in a second. It is Tuesday. I had a really nice weekend, and I'm looking forward to talking to you guys a little bit about some mid-year stuff. John touched on his last week. I'm going to touch on mine. I definitely want to get into yours, and then I have some thoughts on some other tech issues. Of course, we'll talk about tech. We want to hear about your tech issues, meaning it doesn't matter what we're talking about. If we're talking about oranges, feel free to talk about bananas or rocket ships. It doesn't matter. Just bring in your discussion. We'll have a good time, and we're here to answer your questions. We want to engage with you. We want to talk to you. So. All right, so I'm going to bring in John. Let's do that. We'll get after some, what do you call it? We'll get in some comments here, and we'll get moving. So where's my friend John? Let's see, we bring him in here. Where's John?
Hi.
Oh, gosh. I got to bring you up here. There we go.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. Hopefully you're hearing me fine. And
yeah, I hear you fine.
We're moving on. I got you
What's
on
going on?
Not a lot. We haven't talked much in the last few days. I've been busy. I'm sure you've been busy too.
I'm always busy.
You're always busy.
I'm always busy.
Summers are tough, man. And then you're busy anyway, right?
I'm always doing stuff. It wouldn't matter if I was doing stuff with you or someone else or something, or fixing something or messing with something or tinkering with something. I'd be doing something.
Please don't tell me you would do something with somebody else. Why are you asking this? What is
Sorry.
it? What is this? Is that a banjo thing?
Your song
It was kind of a banjo, and did you see me riffing? I was kind
of sounded like one, but I don't think it was.
No, I'm in this weird loop where I put my monitor far back over here, and I can't read it. But then when I read up close, so I've got to make some adjustments on that. What is this right here?
I don't know if you want to pop that up.
Do you sometimes collect water in your ball sack while in the shower? And then, yeah, I think so. There's someone we should ban. I saw that. I'm like, I'm going to put it up anyway. I'm glad they jumped in. I appreciate that. It means they really think they like what we're doing. We're going to put that user in a timeout, and that's pretty funny. So what's something for the family? So what's keeping you busy?
I'm gonna just I had that video come out this week, and then I was working on my thumbnails for this week and stuff, and then I was trying to set some things up. I was using the Rode Wireless Go for the first time, so I was like I had to go back and forth several times from recording and then throw it up on the screen, take a look, listen to it. So it took a while to nail things down. But the first part of the video where I'm outside of my actual season porch,
right,
is using the Rode Wireless Go, which I think sounds pretty good. I'm pretty
that worked out really nice, right?
Yeah, I think I would have brought up the audio just a tad, but I think overall, I think it was pretty good. So I'm just trying to get used to exactly how it works, but I think it sounds good. I'm pretty happy with it.
Yeah, I like the intro to your video. I can see what you're doing, and I know you've talked about doing more and more of that, and kind of just we want it to really engage people with your edits, and I thought it turned out really nice. But yeah, having that ability to move around and be a little bit more mobile frees you up to kind of create a little bit better.
Yeah, I was just having fun, so everything's not like inside here and always sitting right here, So
yeah,
that's all. I'm going to try to do that more and more a little bit, so things can be more engaging. Plus, it's fun for me. It's fun because you're not doing the same thing, and setting up the Rode Wireless Go and having your camera outside and adjusting things. And I had to go grab a light and light up my face a little bit as the sun's going down. It's just a whole working process, which is nice because, if you make everything easy inside your studio, you forget how to challenge yourself a little bit.
Well, that's the thing. And right now everything in my studio has been challenging. As you get, and then you get to a certain point where you're like, oh, I want to really, I want to venture out. I want to expand. That's natural, right? That's natural to say, okay, I've done this and I've got a feel for this, and now I want to move on to another step. That's evolution of what we do. And I think some people are really good at doing it very quick. Yeah. So I'm glad to see it. And you can see that in your evolution of your videos, how it's starting to kind of grow, where it's like, oh, I'm going to go out a little bit and mix some things in. And
that's it. That's what you got to do. It's fun.
It is fun. It's fun. And you kind of have to do it. Yeah. And then at the same time, it's just fun. And I think you have to do this because it's fun. And I'm glad to see you do it. Marlene, great to see you. Yes. As always, if I ever have my own cup, I'll use mine. But until then, I'll use John's. I'm pretty happy with that.
You will someday. So
someday I will. I've got some ideas because I think my channel is going to be more tagline-y. Jay Smith is great, but mine's going to be more about the tagline or the idea. But you know what? You could do some great things with that. So I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Great to see you, John. And that's great to hear from you, John.
There you go.
That's a wonderful comment because, again, John was one of the, besides this John Pullum was one of the first ones that I jumped into right away in our leader program back in April. And I really enjoyed his set. I didn't really know much about cameras, and I think he has a 6100 or 400, but whatever he's using, I thought, gosh, I think it's a 61. And I'm like, wow, he's really got a great set and it looks great. And he was so kind to give me a tour, and all those little things were such amazing inspirations into what I wanted to do, and very helpful into getting my stuff. Again, my originality through influence. And so that's kind of where I took that. So I appreciate that. That's a lovely compliment. Yeah. So, I'm like you, I'm always busy, whether it's real life, whether it's we're trying to do this, we're always trying to move something forward. And I'm definitely in that gear. Unfortunately, life's been just what it has been this summer for me, and it'll clear itself out in August. But it is what it is. And, but we have to just keep moving things along. And I'm doing that. And I have a moment here and there, but I have to say I'm doing it with a smile. I'm even some of the stuff where I'm like, it's this or that. I'm finding myself enjoying the process. Yeah. And that has taken a lot of pressure off me, even though in the back of my mind, there exists this idea of, and I was going to get into that. I got Notion up here with some notes for my show tonight. A little bit of, I don't want to go like crazy deep into my mid-year stuff, but I thought I'd just rattle off a couple bullet points and then again, see if anybody else has thoughts on that. I'm always interested in that. Let's say hello to Danielle. How you doing, hello. Danielle? I'm getting ready. Go ahead.
I had a good week. Did you catch me on? You watched the replay? I told you I was on StreamYard.
Yeah, I caught that. Yeah,
that was awesome.
It was fantastic.
I had a blast.
What? If anybody gets a chance to check it out, just do if for no other reason. No, I'm going to call you out for no other reason. John, your smile when you were sitting in one of the quadrants
with Nick Nimmin, right?
With Nick Nimmins, and he comes
and
on,
Christian and Letitia,
and you're just in that element. You're sitting there with your studio all lit up, and you're like showing your gear, and you're on your element. I'm finding myself like smiling and laughing because I'm like, not in a good way. Like I'm like, look at this dude. He is so in his element right now, and I was so happy for you. Yeah, it was great.
I loved it because first of all, like I'm just jumped on, was watching on my phone upstairs, and then all of a sudden there.
Thank you, Chris.
Christian, hey, what's up, Chris? How you doing? So then all of a sudden, Christian on StreamYard goes, "Hey, Coffee Talking Tech, do you want to jump on with us?" Well, if you're going to invite me, heck yeah. So I ran downstairs, turned my
put your pants on and all that. Yeah.
Yeah. Finished my cup of coffee, ran downstairs, jumped on. And then all of a sudden, I was getting a bunch of questions, people asking me about things. And I absolutely loved it, man. If they would let me stay on for 2 hours with them, I'd stay.
We all know that you would stay on for 2 hours, 10 hours, or whatever. You would have no problem with your conversation.
And then Nick Nimmin is like right on the screen next to me, and he's talking. I'm like, wow, this is awesome.
Now everybody knows, and I'm going to ask you this, and you can be honest. You screenshot that, didn't you? You've got a screenshot of you with Nimmins right off to the side. I would have.
I was thinking of download it and saving it, but I did not. I didn't do any of that. But I do remember. Like the first time that I got on StreamYard, and then the first time with comments with even some people that they popped up on the screen, I took pictures of them and saved them because like just to get that kind of feedback from people that have been doing this for years. And then I just wanted to remind everybody, like when I was on StreamYard, this is a guy who's learned all this stuff in less than a year, So I wanted them to know that there's a lot to learn, but if I can do it, you can too. And I explained to them because everybody looks at the gear, they all go look at the gear and they're like, oh, that guy's got so much stuff and everything. And so
a lot of stuff.
Then I was like, yeah, but you have to understand, I got my ATEM for 33% off. I got my Rodecaster for, about 30% off. Like I got good deals on everything. And so it was a steal. And then my little purchase that I got today that came in was this little stand that was made out of aluminum for $8.99 to tilt my ATEM up. And then I put my Stream Deck right on top. It's like so perfect. It angles it. So it's like really nice. I love it. So, but that's like I'm always in a work in progress to make things smoother at my fingertips. Because like you were just saying, like setting up your studio, then you realize like this is a little bit too far away. This needs to be at my right hand.
Yeah,
this needs to be at my left hand.
Like the coffee cup, it really needs to be in my right hand, but I just can't do this to the logo. So it's always going to be in my left hand until I get this fixed with the right side.
I'm using the pod mic tonight too.
I see that. I'm using I'm using my overhead. I'm using a little bit of a mini shotgun mic. So why not?
Why not? You got to try new things. You got to see how it sounds.
Yeah. What's this? What Paul, I'm trying to tell me here. I got to back up because I see other comments. But John, I sent you a screenshot of it. If you want to bring it up, I sent it on Facebook. If I can get over there without fumbling over myself in the setup, I will definitely get over there. And then hey, Sammy, I see Sammy's in the house, and I'm going to back up to that. But the overhead sounds amazing. I appreciate that. There are no filters. There's no noise suppression. There is no Go XR effects. This is as raw as I can put it through tonight.
That's it.
I wanted to do it. I did, and there's no sock on it. So if this thing sounds
on it,
huh?
Put a sock on it.
Why?
No, just that's what I tell people.
Oh, you're like, hey man, how you doing? Put a sock on it.
Yo, bro, you're talking too much. Put a sock on it.
Just put a sock on it.
What's up,
Sammy's
Sammy?
in town. Sammy's like, what's up, everyone? I see some new gear, Jeffrey. I guess. I mean, there's a tablet sitting here. I don't know if it's new gear, although I did end up using this. This is like an older Samsung tablet. It's about 5 years old, maybe now. And I love this tablet. It came with the Bluetooth keyboard that's magnetic and all that. So it's a beautiful thing I use for traveling because I couldn't take my laptop on tour. And I just love this thing. And I won't get into too deep tonight because I'm going to do a video on it. I ended up really needing a teleprompter to finish off, and I did finish recording my little welcome video. And I realized how human I was as I tried to do a 96-second video. This would be no problem. The problem is it's nonstop speaking at a lens for 90 seconds. That's probably more speaking than we'll do in 5 minutes sometimes. So I needed a teleprompter, and I ended up using this tablet with an app off of Android and the Bluetooth keyboard as my controller. And man, it was slick. Like it changed so much of my flow, and I can see moving forward.
Yeah.
Whether it's, I mean, I'll use this for a while. I will more than likely move to an actual teleprompter, and I have my reasons for that, which I will dump into a video because I think I already shot B-roll on this, and I'm just going to go ahead and make a video on it just to put it out there because it's hot. Why not? I mean, it's in my mind. And I'll
be doing a teleprompter video soon too because I just got one, and that was part of the reason too, is to when I have to explain a lot of stuff and writing it down and then recording it and then writing it down and then recording it. I just want to be able to, and I hope that I use it for that reason. I hope that I make sure I do use it, but I threw it on there and I really loved it. I liked it. It was pretty cool how it all worked out, how it sat on the end of the lens and screwed on, and it was light, and how well it worked and how big the letters were from right here. So I loved it. And then along the way, I just picked up, you know those stands that our lights come on?
Yeah, those are great. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I picked up not one of those, but even a cheaper, smaller one. And I actually put my camera on one of those because I had this little mounting system, but I needed this camera to just scoot over a little bit. And so I got one of those little mounts, and I have it like set up right in front of me now. And it's going to give me that clearance too that I need to put the teleprompter on for my monitors and stuff. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, that worked out really good, but yeah, I'm still trying to get things. And then in the works, I think down the road, I might end up I might get a motorized desk that goes up and down.
Those are really handy. And I know a lot of people are moving to those, and I can see why. It's just, sometimes it's nice to stand and present. Because
I see myself doing a lot of 3-hour streams in the future. and so like, I want to be able to stand. So if I want to be able to stand, I could stand up starting for an hour or sit down, or get a bar seat for that matter, and
there's so many things you can do with this. I mean, and I don't know, they have wheels too, so you can move them into a different area and you can stand up and do different type of presentations to make it, just a little bit more enjoyable.
I'm still going to use my Home Depot tabletop though. I'm just going to get a frame.
Oh, is that right? Just going to get a frame.
I'm going to get a frame and attach this.
I like these tops. I mean,
Oh, I can't beat this top.
Yeah. I've got my version of that top here, and I love it.
But yours is Home Depot too, right?
It is this was a Home Depot top. Yes.
Yeah. They're unbelievably strong. They put the ones from Home Depot, from IKEA to shame.
I agree. They are massively strong. Oh, I see. So, John, you were trying to send me a picture of when you were on the show with Nick Mimmons. I can see how that.
It's the John Pullum show.
It's a John Pullum show, so I need to see a side by side. But it is kind of hilarious to see you both. It would be kind of funny to put the two together. I'll pull that up later, man. It's pretty funny. And John, why not use your standing Husky desk that you already have, John?
Because that's utilized for the back. That's for B-roll. That's for moving. That's for adjusting. That's going to be used all the time. Matter of fact, I'll be doing a video on that starting tomorrow.
Yeah, I think you're like me in that you could do it, but then the issue is you start moving things around too much, different things, and I'm just not in the mood to do that.
That one in the back is mobile. It's got the wheels on it.
Sure,
and I can slide it anywhere. I could push it back. So I'm not going to change something that's already flexible. And then this desk is always going to stay here with the equipment on it, and I don't want to move anything. So, you know, and that's the whole thing. Like it's the way I'm putting things together is I took the EOS R and I filmed outside. I don't want to use it as my main camera and then constantly be moving it outside.
Oh, okay.
So,
well, there's so many tools and toys. We've talked about it, and I think a lot of people talk about it. Whatever this, I want specific tools for specific jobs whenever I can. I don't want to have to be moving things around and reflowing. So I get, and look, I am right now doing that because sometimes there's just limits to money. So you're caught into that world. I'm okay right now with that and what I'm doing, but over time I'm starting to see like I'd like to add this, maybe this table, and kind of just continue to form a little bit more efficiency in the studio. Right.
Yeah.
Look at this, Aaron.
What's up, Aaron? How you doing?
Everyone.
So this guy had a new video come out today, and I just like what he's doing. I don't know what it is, but I just like what he's doing. Like, don't change your personality. Don't change how you're acting. Don't change your set. Everything is just great. Just make videos. I love it because it's a refreshing perspective. And I don't know. I just like it. I think he makes he's, you know how we're all hard on ourselves. You're harder than anybody, but you know how we're all hard on ourselves. And
sure.
He's hard on himself too.
I know.
But like this is the thing. I'm telling you the truth, and I wouldn't tell you this unless I really felt it. Your first videos are like way beyond better than my stuff, way beyond the better than a lot of people's stuff. And so really don't take that with a grain of salt, because I want you to know that and just do your thing and create. I mean, it's a hard thing for me to do a video. You know, when you guys say to me, oh, you know, Jeff and John, they look so comfortable on live streaming and stuff. Well, that's the way I feel about the way your videos appear. So keep doing that.
I didn't actually get the chance to check his video. I just checked out your video today, but so what is his video today? What's his topic?
Well, every topic that he has is just not like he's a little bit like just jumping to different things all the time, but it doesn't matter too much what it is, but he's like talking about putting that pressure on himself and making the videos and things being perfect. But it's just that, I don't know. It's just a refreshing perspective, and the way he comes off, and he's got a good sense of, I think, sarcasm too. And I love that. So, but I just like it. He does the little bloopers at the end. I thought that was brilliant. And he starts, you know, saying things in Spanish when he gets mad, you know? So it's just like, whatever. It's funny.
I got to figure out how to swear in like Klingon or something where I can do it. Cause you know,
but I have a funny story for you.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Okay. I mean, if you want to, I can wait, but if you want, I just don't want to forget it. But
I just want to follow up this thread. I just finished.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. I really misunderstood what I read. And part of that is
not you. Don't put me. I don't want a picture of me up there.
It says, no, the screenshot I said was of John Ryan on the show with Nick, not me. I wasn't on his show.
I think John's he probably has a screenshot of it, because he probably sends it to people and says it's him. And then it's like speaking engagements with my picture in it.
Right. He just kind of blurs it a little bit.
Shows up and he's like, you're a little bit pudgier than I thought you were. And then
you do look a little smarter than I thought, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's the glasses. Aaron, yeah. I mean,
and Tom Buck left a little comment for Aaron saying he liked his video. So that was great. A plus.
So that's a nugget, a big nugget. That's not a little nugget. I love that. That's a huge thing. I have to get over. I'll get over there when we finish tonight and take a look. Because
So the first thing I want to say is, do you notice how bright my background is?
Yep, I do see it. I know somebody mentioned, I
first.
think it was Aaron, or I think it was Aaron maybe mentioning the white balance.
I think Sammy.
Was it Sammy?
Was it Sammy? But whatever the case is, I white balanced the other day because I finally got a white balance card. Oh, okay. It was Aaron. I got a white balance card. And so I used it the other day and I set up my VMix. So probably because the lighting's a little different, it's not perfect, but it's probably pretty close. And then this is for the first time I lit up the background. I don't know. It's nice, right? For a change. So
yeah, it's a nice contrast, and
you can
get away with that. You can get away with that better than I can at the moment. So I paint. But I like that. And that's something that I want to do. When I got into this, the studio style or vibe that I liked most when I went around and looked at millions of people was Tom Buck's, because I liked the lights and the energy of all that. But I just couldn't pull that off down here. I didn't have all the lights. If you really take a studio tour with him on how he lights his studio, he's putting a lot of energy to lift the lights in that room, and it really shows, and it's wonderfully done. At the time, I didn't have that. I probably have almost enough lights to pull some of that off now, but I'm fine where I'm at.
Hey, it took him a year to get that room to look like that,
Yeah, he really, I mean, it takes
when he
time.
started out, he had no lights in the background. Things were dim. And then as he kept on making videos, things changed in the background. He put some lights, and then, then that company, Falcon, whatever, sent him a bunch of lights, and he did a review on them. And now he's got if you ever saw the video that he did with the lights, he's got a huge light over the top.
He does. Yeah, that's the thing. To really get the lighting in that, to make it look so natural and so evenly bright, you got to have something pretty massive that's putting some power out. And then he has some strategic lighting. I watched that video and I'm like, okay, well, I don't feel so bad now. There's no way I could pull that off, because I was trying to do it on some level. I'm like, well, there's no way for me to pull this off now, but that's okay. Just go with what you have. And in all honesty, it probably helped me, because then I focused on what I had and then figured out some lighting. And I do, as Danielle says, she likes the natural background. I do too. And I think I like switching it up. I like doing that color and then the natural. My background screen gave me that, and I really enjoyed some of that. So,
well, I think that's always going to be a plus for us, that we know how to change the background up, and that's keeping things fresh.
Yeah, you want to keep it fresh, and I like changing the angles and doing some things. And I mean, tonight I'm really playing. I had this at a much different angle, wasn't working, and you can see even I'm fighting a little focus because of the distance and stuff. But I'll figure that out. But you know what? It's good to play around and have different angles and different colors. And if nothing else, for yourself, sometimes you need a break. You need to change it up, right? So
yeah, I like to have a change. Well, let me tell this story really quick.
Yeah, tell your story, man. Let's see what you got.
It's kind of like a little bit of a John Pullum story. So I no, really, for real. Listen to this.
No, I got you.
This cracks me up. So so I worked with this company for a bunch of years, and I met this guy, and we were doing like this data center for a pharmaceutical company, and we're installing cameras also. And I met this kid. He was just a kid, man. I mean, I think he was like 19 at the time. And he was talking about how he's got to get a better job, and this, company doesn't pay him enough, but they're really good people and this. So I had this long discussion with him about how to approach the people and your bosses. And I told him kind of like how to lay it out and get himself a raise there, because he's dedicated. He was a good worker. He was a good kid. And so he put this whole thing together after I talked to him, and I had left that job and went to another job. So years go by, and I ran into him at another place somewhere along the line on a job. And he goes to me, "Yo, what's up? Remember me?" And so we started talking. I found out that he had this whole schmeal. They gave him a raise. Everything's like, hunky dory. He's making like a lot more money an hour. And then all of a sudden, now a couple of years go by. I leave the company I was working with. I'm working with someone different. I ran into him yesterday. He's been with this company about 7 years now. And he told me that now he's like project manager / this, that, and the other thing, making really good money, happy. And he's like, kind of like, thanks a lot for that whole talk that, we had. So I said, hey, you should check my YouTube channel. I've just been messing with this and that and the other thing. And he's like, yeah, I'll go check it out. So he subscribes to me, right?
Sure.
I go to look at his YouTube channel and I'm like, he's got 1,300 subscribers. So I was like, wait a second, what? And so I'm looking and he's got one video up from 4 years ago. And the video got 1.1 million views.
Well, I got to know what was it about?
It is a 10-second video.
Oh, you're killing me, man.
Nope, it's like 10 seconds. And he had 1 million views and he picked up 1,300 subscribers off it. And I was just like laughing. I'm like, oh my God, this is like, these people are falling into stuff like this for 10-second video. Bring yourself back. Where are you?
No, I'm just enjoying talking to you. Like I'm having steak and stuff.
Anyways, I was like, oh my God, here we are. We're busting our butts, working extra hours, working hard on our videos. This guy's got 13, but I know like it's tough. It's a video.
It's maddening in a way. Of course, you can't begrudge, and you don't. But sometimes it makes you want to bang your head on the wall because you're like, I can't figure out this thing. And I think the whole thing is we're just not going to figure it out. We're going to just whatever we're working on. But it is sometimes like, what is happening? Like a 10-second video, dude's got 1 million views.
I thought it was just funny. I thought the whole thing was funny, It
is funny, and he's not the only one. I've been looking around too and kind of keeping my eye open, and I see these people. I'm like, who are these people? Because they have similar names on my channel as I'm going through trying to deal with that. And they're not really been around, but they had like 2 videos out, and they've got like 800 or 1,000, like you say, people. And I'm like, but they haven't even been around, but those 2 just happen to bump a little bit. And you're like, oh, okay, I'm fighting people who are ghost. Like they're not even on YouTube anymore, and I'm still fighting them on the algorithm. It's just the way it is, I
mean, this guy's 10-second video didn't even get monetized, I don't think, at least John's video, but it just was like the 1.1 and 1.1. I thought it was just so funny. It reminded me right away of John, and I was like, it was just funny. Aaron's
saying that, John, probably the white walls in your studio are bouncing your RGB lights, but of course you don't have white walls, John, do you?
No, I have gray walls, and they're pretty darn gray. So
surprisingly gray.
But that's the idea, Aaron, is that you get these gray walls, and that's exactly why is it bounces the lights. And then if it was white, it would be too much, actually, too much reflection going on. So it was my wife's suggestion, and I was talking about this actually on StreamYard. So when I was on StreamYard, I brought this up that my wife had made this comment, and you could almost probably do a white balance off of these walls. So it's pretty close.
I looked at that. That's at Stoningham, and that's what I've got the stuff that now this week I get to open and record and put on the wall of 3 different colors. One of them was that one. But the more I research it, that's probably where I'm going to go at, but I'm going to check it against my lighting and my environment because that can change things. Because obviously the smaller you're in things, that can make dark very dark. Or if you go too white in a small room, as we know, the reflection of that white can bounce off each other.
Yeah.
So it's never the same in the same room, depending. So I'll put them up there.
Yeah, I'm really happy with this. I can't complain. But
it's a very neutral gray, though. It's perfect because you can go very dark or very light on it, depending on how you light it, which is what I want. Here, I'm fighting more of an orangey tint, and it's really difficult. But yeah, I'm glad you shared. That's a cool story because John's got a story, but his is always about a dog rescue.
No, it was funny though. I thought of John right away with that story, and then StreamYard too. Like when I jumped off StreamYard, I ran upstairs and I was like, my wife was like, I saw it, you did great. And then I was just beside myself, because first of all, Christian asked me to come on. I made a comment, and then all of a sudden he's like, asked me to come on. That was like really nice. And then he sent me a message in on a comment that I left, and he's like, people really liked your setup and stuff. He keeps on asking me to reach out to him, and I do, but he must get 100 million emails, and hopefully I don't know why he keeps on asking me to reach out. So I don't know why he's asking me, but we'll find out.
Why not? John, Paul, sadly, half of my subscribers are because of one video. I don't know. Yeah. I mean, early on, we're all like, oh, if I get a certain amount of videos off of one or something, subscribers off of one video, I'll be happy. Then later on, maybe we do, I guess, go, but I don't know. I think it is what it is. And it's learning experience either way. They still do exist. I guess we can always have that discussion about whether or not they harm or hurt the situation. But I get what you're saying, though.
I tell you what, I don't know. I'm going to stop stressing over things because I took 2 months off of not making a video, and kind of I saw a couple other people do this. One content creator I really like, and the reason he had to take off is because his daughter isn't doing well medically. But it's he was really worried about it, and he would mention it, about his channel and say, hoping that he doesn't lose people and lose time and people come and watch stuff. And he was like really surprised too that people were watching. I mean, I went and showed, I posted on Facebook my hours for the month, and I was just like really surprised. I was like over 400 hours for the month for viewing time. And that's not making a video in 2 months. So I was pretty happy because I was getting a lot of views on other stuff that was moving along. But it's just like sometimes you do need a mental break, or you need to regroup and re-strategize things. And then we panic about that we won't be able to make a video or go live as much, or and
it's kind of put in our brains. People preach, if you take 1 week off, you're going to just take a huge hit. And I don't know. I think people sound these alarms. I think in the end of the day, quality is better than quantity. And if you're burning out and you're just putting out stuff that's sort of half-assed in a way, or because you're tired or you beat up or you haven't been able to step back and re-strategize to improve, then I don't know what you're doing. In a way, you're just spinning your wheels. I think in that way is when you really risk losing people. If you're putting out bad content just to put out bad content, people are like, well, I'm not seeing anything good there. I'm just going to ignore anything. Now it becomes like crying wolf. Well, you put out 10 videos, but I don't know if any of them are good anymore because 8 of them sucked, or they just weren't up to snuff, or whatever the case may be.
I think the fact that of streaming every week still, every week we didn't miss a week for those, months or so, for 3 months now, that I think that really helped a lot. I mean, so I don't know. I can't complain. I feel like sometimes you just got to change the flow if things aren't working. It helped me mentally get some things in order. And I got 10-hour videos ready in the bucket that I know I can make. And then I'm going to stop putting so much pressure on myself. Because what I do is, and I'm sure all of you do this, is that I overthink about what am I going to do for a video? There's so many things that I could be doing for a video, and I don't even consider them sometimes. And it's just it's ridiculous, because put this stuff all together, and then I always go and look at all my videos and see who's watching what. And if these videos that don't even really get that much views, say it's 20 views a week, and it's just 20 views, but then you have 10 of them that get 20 views, and that's 200 views a week, then so what? It's still good. It's still views. It's still time. It's still you doing a video, getting better at everything that it takes to make a video. So I got to stop thinking like that.
And you're not the only one, right? I mean, we are all obsessing about analytics, numbers, improving. It's hard. You want to find the balance between what you should be obsessing about. And I don't know what you should obsess about. Maybe that you shouldn't obsess about anything. But I think everybody here probably has dealt with that at some point. How much obsessing should you do? And I mean, when I look, so I won't really dig into all my notes here. And to your point, John, you don't realize. So for me, until I popped up a Notion and started creating a video editing board, I really didn't know how many ideas I had in my head. Then I started listing them, and then they started piling on each other. And now I've got nearly 30 ideas that are solid ideas already cooked up. And I even put them into what I call a playlist. So I created a GoLexR playlist or whatever. So I'm like, oh my God, I already got 5 videos I could do in this particular playlist. Now, if I don't write these things down and put them in a container as I'm doing it, I may miss out on this buildup, this accumulation of assets, I guess you want to call it, of content. So for me anyway, that has been a savior, because as I go through and sometimes feel like I'm not getting enough videos out or doing videos fast enough, I can at least look and go, you're doing other things that are setting you up for the ride. And once you cook it up and you get past your little blockage point here, and you're past that where you've got your full flow, there you go. You're at
Yeah.
least you're in the mode. Then you're ready to go. You've already started those things. You are working. And sometimes people think, like you kind of hinted on, just because sometimes you're not putting a video out doesn't mean you're not being productive. And sometimes productive can be just taking time off. And sometimes productive can be analyzing what got you here, what worked and what didn't work, and then making a few changes. And I've seen you do that. And I've seen you do that quite honestly, quickly. And I feel like you've gone from somebody who's a little bit burned out to somebody who has a little bit more zest and a path of you get where maybe you feel you're going is a little more comfortable.
Some of that is like a lot of positive reinforcement from other people that are streaming, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
And so the feedback that I've been getting and the potential that is there. And a lot of times I see myself and I see these guys that have 100, 125,000 subscribers.
I know.
And they're talking about topics that I know more about. And so I just feel like, you know, I think it's just a matter of time. And the thing is, the difference between them, and I'm not taking anything away. I don't mean that I know more about and that I should have those subscribers. They put the time in and they put the effort in and they put the hard hours in to get to where they are. I think that if I just do that, it will come. And
most of the time that's the case. And I think what you're really saying is there is a very slim line between here and there. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
That the distance isn't what we think it is all the time. And so hard work is what you're going to need, though. Like, it's sometimes easier to get up to the line, but man, it takes a massive amount of push and effort and inertia to get over that line and be a part of that party.
Well, if anyone's ever been somewhat of a good athlete, you know, in something, or really worked at something that got you to a certain higher level in some aspect, you know that it took a lot of work to get there, and also perseverance. And persevering is the biggest word, I think, because it's not only it's not doing the same thing over and over and making the same mistakes, because I can see this, right? I kind of niched down in my channel and then started viewing and focusing in on who I'm really doing this for. And that really benefited me. When you're making videos over and over and you don't even know who your people are yet, who are watching you, you don't even know who your best, you know, audience is. I think you're kind of like lost in that. And I think a lot of people do that. And that's not unusual for a lot of new people. But the sooner that you can find where you want to be, the better you are. And so I kind of like know where I want to be. And I love a lot of the technology, and I never pigeonholed myself in one aspect of it. And then also, the more I do YouTube and learn about it, the more I can help and add that into the whole mix too. In which I'm learning a heck of a lot, you know. And then I've had a couple talks with some people that have been around the block quite a bit, and they're pretty impressed of how far I've gotten at this point. And I think that a couple of those talks and in the last 2 weeks, I've had 3 companies approach me to do reviews on things. And so when you're just a small little dinky channel like me and people are reaching out to you, and so I know that I have to get an ethics statement together, you know, because I'm not like sending these emails out verbatim like I've been. It's a waste of time. I need to have like a whole statement about how I operate and push that right out to them. So I don't have to have the same conversations, because what they try to do, and I don't know if anyone else has had this, they reach out to you. Then they tell you that, listen, if you buy the product from Amazon, we'll reimburse you. And I'm sure a lot of companies do this, but that's not what it's all about. Like, if you were going to reach out to me to review it, then it's you just sending me the product point blank. And then I'm going to tell everybody that you sent it to me and that I am going to do a review on it honestly. And it's not going to always be in the benefit of you. It's going to be a true review. And so I've done that where people have said, oh, can you buy it? And then I said, no, I can't do that. And they've said, we'll send it to you anyway. So 2 companies in a row said, okay, we're going to send it to you anyway. That's fine.
Well, you need to negotiate it down, and just the ones that aren't going to fit that role, just ignore them and move on, because I just don't think it's worth the hassle. That's great. Aaron said that my studio walls are gray, but very dark gray. That way I can paint the walls with RGB lights and avoid the bouncing.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
So you're right on spot.
Yeah, if you don't have a big enough room, definitely want to go darker on that. That's something I'm checking out here, although my room's pretty big. So I don't know that that'll be the problem. I have a feeling I'll be I want to lighten it up to keep it from being overwhelming. So that would be the flip side of that little nugget. Yeah, so let's just see. Let's get caught up here. Let's see what we got here. We did. Let's see. But all my walls outside the studio are in line with rental's unofficial ordinance. Eggshell, yellowish, beige. Oh yeah. That's the status quo right there. You got to
eggshell.
Oh my God. And I know what John's saying here. There's a fine line between standing on a shore and actually fishing, and that's true. It's it's just in this case, what John is saying is true though. Is just there really isn't a huge difference in the delivery, the presentation, and all that stuff, and a lot of on what you're talking about. But somehow, for whatever reason, that line can seem pretty vast at times. In fact, it's just not. And who knows what that trigger will be, or the thing, the item that will break that will allow.
Are we talking about comparing people and where they are?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. I wasn't sure what exactly we were.
It's going back to your discussion about
yeah.
seeing others who are doing what they're doing and going, oh, I don't see a huge difference. Except for numbers.
And
well,
that's what I was going to say. They put the time in.
It's always, and then it comes to time in the grind. That's usually where it comes down to. So, oh, look who's in the house here.
Hello.
Our buddy Brian. He is our streaming buddy. He's probably all wet. He's been in the streaming pool.
What's up, streaming buddies?
He's got his little what are those little floaty things on? He's in his water. He's streaming around. I didn't see him doing that with his he's got his beard and some kind of thing to keep it dry. I don't know. Maybe his beard's got a floaty too. I don't really know. And of course, we couldn't even start to have a conversation without Zan. The men.
Zan, no man.
We need an echo thing where he goes, Zan, the men. So good to see you, Zan.
What's going on, Zan?
He's got to be about 10 minutes from dinner, but I do appreciate him stopping in and saying what's up. And I filmed Topia, Ed, I believe. Stopping
yo, Ricky, that's Ricky.
Huh?
That's Ricky.
Oh, did I say Ed? I'm sorry. I got Ed on somewhere else.
You were thinking of
I know what I'm thinking. Yeah. I know sorry about that, Ricky. I stopped in there. I told you I stopped in to their
I was in there with you.
Yeah, and I didn't see you because I was balancing out some things, and for whatever reason, I looked for you.
I put a comment too after I said, "What is Jeff doing in here?" And then Ricky is like, he brought it up and he was laughing. So
you apparently can't read. I was trying to read the discussion points between the three talking heads, who, quite honestly, the knowledge base in there was quite deep, and I was trying to catch up to everything. So I felt a little outside. I'm not quite as caught up on the Marvel universe as of course they are, but that is a place to go if A, you enjoy these things, and B, if you want to get into, I think, these very deep, cool discussions. And I did enjoy
that. You just want to meet good people. That's why I don't know anything about this stuff.
Don't go there. No, I'm just kidding.
Ricky, I don't know anything. I'm sorry to say. I don't know anything about what you're talking about, but I know good people. And so I just come and support good people. And that's what I do. So,
well, they were having a great time and they were smiling and you could tell they were very passionate about these discussion points. And it's very it reminds me of people in a coffee shop, talking politics or cultural issues. It was very, because there's a lot of nuance, and that's what's so great about having a live stream, and you can have some width and breadth to talk like they were, is they can really get into a lot.
People talk about these shows at work all the time, though. Yeah,
but they can't spend around 3 hours just talking.
No, but I'm just saying, I know it comes up because I hear it, but I don't really watch much TV. So
no, I really
watched UFC this weekend.
Okay, well,
did anyone seen the Dustin Poirier fight?
I didn't see it. I just saw the end.
Conor McGregor
ankle and all that nonsense, and the guy's filming his wife.
He's a mess.
Why do people watch this stuff? I don't. Of course, you watched it.
Oh, I love watching UFC. I've been watching UFC since 1993.
Yeah, I mean, it's really overtaken boxing. For popularity, which is very interesting. My favorite color that best fits with RGB colors is a color like a fashion gray by Seamless. Yeah.
Boom.
My background is the Fashion Gray Savage paper.
Yeah,
absolutely, right. The Fashion Gray. That was my favorite. So I think that might be what he's talking about.
Yeah, and that's a little darker, no?
You know, I gotta really. It's funny. I want to put up your color against that to see. I don't know. It doesn't feel darker really than what you have up. I would almost say might be a little bit lighter, but I will do a little shot for you and we'll look at that. But
I don't think anybody ever knew that my room was as gray as it is.
No, I mean,
no one's ever saw.
No, because once you turn the lights off, it's when you get the idea. Exactly. I ask people what color my walls are right now. They'd be like, I don't know. But I'm really having to overpower them a little bit because of some hints that are throwing out. But yeah, the Fashion Gray is right now my favorite gray that I'm using as a background over here, and I use it on my little welcome video. So that's cool that somebody else enjoys that as well. What do we got going on here? There's a fine line between fishing and standing on the shores like an idiot. Stephen Wright. I love Stephen Wright. Stephen Wright was so full of wisdom.
Was awesome.
Stephen Wright just was the best.
So dry and sarcastic. I loved it.
Yeah, I mean, miss that guy. It was really, really something. And yeah, I'm with you on the Black Widow. I'm really excited. I want to go see it in the studio. In the movie theater. I'm just so excited to get back out into a movie theater and see a Marvel. I watched all the Marvel ones with my nephew because I don't have kids. And I found an excuse to take my nephew who's so into it and enjoy that through his eyes. And I'm just looking forward to going and seeing Black Widow in the theater with other.
Oh, nice.
That'd be fun. It'll feel normal. And I
think I got to take my son to maybe one of these. So.
Yeah, absolutely. What mic are you using, JA? Now, I'm afraid to ask, like, is there a problem with it? No. You're going to be interested. The mic I'm using here is a XML 603S. It's nothing more than a drum overhead mic. And one day I was looking to throw a condenser up to play around with a shotgun mic. And I thought, I've got two sitting over my drum kit. And they got some nice high ends on them, some clarity. Let's play around with them. So I have it up here with absolutely zero effects. There is nothing going. There's no limiting gating or other. So if you have any thoughts, absolutely would love your thoughts because I respect what you have to say. And if good or bad, it doesn't matter. Let me know what you think and what I should do with it. Because right now
I feel like the mic is to the right of you. By
it is. So you can see what it is. And so what's happening is I'm talking this way a little bit, and I've noticed that too. That
so if it was in front of you, it would sound perfect because when you face that mic and you're just where you are,
where I'm right here, we're fine. And I realized that, but I didn't really want to get up. And make that change. I should make the change. I just drop you on the screen. I can make that change pretty quick.
No. I mean, it's not a big deal. It's just that like you close the gap and you don't hear the air.
I noticed it. I noticed it in my ears even.
Yeah.
When I turn my head, I noticed it and I'm like, well, I've got to fix that. But I threw all this.
It sounds great.
Yeah. I threw it back together, this whole area after I had torn it apart for the recording. And I just got it lined up. And when I sat here tonight, I'm like, it's off to the right, but we'll fix it up. We'll get it. I appreciate that though. It's really good to hear. Good people and good vibes is what Phil is all about.
Vibes.
Yeah. You could feel the energy of that when I was there. And
yes,
when everybody's all smiles and agreeing to disagree, you've got good energy. I mean, not
yeah.
So, that's the thing. So I appreciate it. We'll be stopping in. I will be because beyond the vibes and the energy, I actually enjoy the content. So.
And then I don't think you saw Rick. If Ricky's still here, what's the name of the older guy that's like my age in your show who gets all pumped up all the time? And he's like, oh, he's got a lot of energy. He's fun too.
Yeah. People get really excited about it. So yeah, I know Brian's mentioned several times how excited he is also too. And he's got a son. So I imagine that he'll go with him and take him.
Yeah. And they're about the same age too. So.
I want to say that he's not alive actually.
Really?
I don't know. Let somebody Google that up on our Google machine so we can have an answer here. That would be great. I hope he is. For some reason, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but okay.
Yeah, you never know.
I don't want to tell somebody they're not alive. That would be absolutely horrific. Let's Marlon. No, your mom says, "Yep, John, the neutral background looks great for a change with lighting as well."
Yeah.
It's nice to get that contrast and pop off a little bit. Like you're kind of popping off a little bit more, even with that light behind you and that dark shirt. Of course, I think is key.
Yeah, when you have a light background, you always wear a dark shirt, and then when you have a dark background, you could wear a light shirt, and that really that causes the separation.
Yeah, you need that contrast. You can't,
right.
As I wear a dark shirt with a dark background, but I mean it's kind of purple, and I have a background light to at least help lift that a little bit out. If I turn this overhead background light off, this is separating me a little bit on my shoulders and my head.
Yeah, absolutely.
If I turn that off, you'd notice the difference. It would be
listen, it's just the vibe that you throw out. People change things all the time, and so I like that we can just change it because I don't want to look the same every week.
No, I want to be
kind of boring too. Right? Because look, you guys always come in here and you notice everything. So then we spend a half an hour talking about what Jeff changed or I changed, and that's fun. So,
and you know what I'll do is I'll even drop over. Now this is the 5100 I'm on. I'll drop onto the 6400 for a second, and it might look like I'm not looking at you as well though in this setup. And my camera's going to grab a little bit here. I've noticed because my settings were not changed. So we'll fix it out. Anyway, Brian says no, that's not Brian. That's Brian. Audio sounds great, but he's on a phone. I would think that probably 75% of the people here tonight are on the phone.
Yeah.
That's the going rate of consumption. And as a web developer for 20 years, I can tell you it's true. And it's a nightmare.
I think it's actually a little higher overall when people watch stuff.
It depends on what they're doing. Yeah. I think for YouTube, it might be a little higher than that right now. Yeah. Those little pencil mics are great for this setup. They are hard to dial in. They are harder to dial in than you think. This is true. I want to spend some time on dialing this mic a little bit more. Where you really notice it is when you come out of a live compression setup. So that obviously changes things. Where I was noticing it more was on a higher quality rate going in on my recording. That dynamic range on this really exposes some things. So I'm going to have to spend some time with my new VST3 plugins for DaVinci. So that'll be fun.
I'm going to be putting those in into vMix soon.
I'm excited. Oh yeah. We should talk about that, by the way. Try to make some drum noises and see how it sounds. Well, yeah, well, it's made for a hi-hats and cymbal collection, but we could do it. We can. Yeah, we can go crazy. Anyway, thank you for that. It looks good, Jay. Thank you, man. I appreciate Brian. You've been a big part of that. And what is he saying here? Jeff, you can use the TV behind you displaying your channel name. Okay. I want to talk about that for a second. It's funny he says this. I think I don't know. Are you talking about this one here? Or are you talking about the one
that
here?
One or the other? Yeah.
Okay. This is going to get replaced because the hertz on that is not going to work. It's an older TV one that I use
like crazy.
Yeah, I use it for rehearsing, and I didn't care at the time, but now when it's on, it's just a nightmare. But I'm going to change it out, and I could do it there. I could do it here too. I don't know. That might be annoying if it's here. That's what I'm thinking. It's too much, but I don't know. One or the other could be. I'm going to try it out. That's a great suggestion. I appreciate that, and I might put out some kind of name taggy line thing up there and see how it goes. Thank you, Aaron. I appreciate that. It's very nice.
I was thinking of that too, but I don't think I want to take that rear, area up. I don't know.
I just happen to have all these things that were already here, and I kind of utilize them in a weird. This is more of less just it exists, but it could be some kind of rotating presentation that doesn't jar people too much. I'm into that. Why not? Let's try it out. I'll create.
I think it'd be good because it's close to you and it's offset, and so that would
it's got to be offset. It can't be like direct
for me in here. I don't think it would work.
No, I think it is. You're right. It's about angles. How much is really? Yeah, I totally get it, man. That's totally true. Our man Anthony always bringing the headphone breaking energy for sure. So,
yes, that's him. Yep.
Yeah, so is he punching monitors because he doesn't like what Loki is doing or something?
He's got a lot of energy though. I'll tell you that. And so he gets pumped up and then he yells.
Breaking. I think what he means he's breaking because he's
your
yelling.
Ears.
And this is actually kind of funny. He just checked the internet. Says he's still alive unless Jeffrey recently killed him. I did not. Maybe I was thinking of Gallagher. Is he still alive? I thought maybe Gallagher died. They're not the same, I understand, but you know what I'm saying? Same era. He looks alive. He's alive, but looks dead. I understand that.
Well, he did 25 years ago, at least.
Yeah, he looked a little rough. He looked a little
remember his dark
25
circles?
years. Oh yeah, he looked really rough. And hey, you guys, drop in if you're on the phone. We are curious. Let's do a rough poll here. If you're on the phone, John says he's on the desktop. Let us know. So we got 2 phones and a desktop going on right here. We got, I believe, Tracy from Scrap Stash. I dropped in on Saturday morning. I dropped in on a 3-hour Mama Lala. I had to bail after about 2 hours, but they were doing stenciling. And I have to say, I'm not a stenciler, but man, the detail work that they were doing was amazing. So I got to do that and watch them do their work, and they're fun. They're just a lot of fun to be around and
always
hear them
good
laughing.
stuff, right?
Yeah, and they're just very inviting. So they invited me in, and I appreciate that. And there's a person in this house who has a whole craft room, so I think she might be she's going to sign up for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. Saturday mornings might be my thing. If they do that every Saturday morning, I might drop in on them for an hour or two on Saturday.
I always do. I think they do Thursday mornings too, or whatever it is. I catch them in the morning.
So Aaron thinks the one that's furthest away. So
yeah, I think so too.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. I'm going to have a monitor that's being given to me in a week or two, and so I'm going to replace that one out. And put that up there, and let's try it out. Let's see let's put up little J.A. Smith up there, and maybe I'll put like bold letters. Please subscribe, and like a very, how do they do that where you don't really see it? So it's very subliminal.
Yeah, you can even have like a banner going through.
Yeah.
Big letters.
John loves Stream Buddies. John
loves
Stream Buddies.
Subliminal.
Yeah, very subliminal. Like just you would never see it.
There's like a little flash in the back, but people don't even see it. It says subscribe.
No, that's subliminal. We're gonna do all wartime subliminal.
Why does Jeffrey get 100 subscribers every time he does a live stream?
Yeah, how did that happen? And why are people buying him nonstop coffee? He's made $1,000 off of coffee buys in the last.
He doesn't even need to be monetized.
He doesn't need to be monetized. He's doing illegal actions on his subliminal messaging. Yeah, you guys look and sound great. Gotta run because I'm old and tired. have a great evening.
We're both old too.
I was young and tired. I don't know. So you can see what's happening. I got to figure out what's going on there, John. I think my focus is too quick. I got to change that back.
Sometimes if you make your focus go all the way across the screen instead of narrow it down too, you could narrow it down a little bit.
I changed some of the settings when I was doing the little welcome video, and I got to go back and.
Oh, I know.
Look, there's a lot going on. I'll get that.
That's exactly. I had my camera, and then before I started the stream, I was like, "Okay, is this camera going to work? Okay, I got to set it over to video."
I saw you in the green room flipping around. I was like, I know what he's doing because you were kind enough to show up about 4 minutes before 8 o'clock my time.
Yes,
go live, and I'm like, I sent you a message going, "Are we okay? Should I panic?" Not that I was going to, because I was like,
"Oh, you did? I didn't even see that."
You don't care.
No, because I'll always be here. And the only reason I won't be is something I can't control. But I always, I would let you know if I couldn't. So,
no, I know you're always. I don't worry about you, man. I will never do that to you, and I know that you would never let me down, so I don't worry about it. And Mama Lala's in here, and I don't know if you were here when I was talking, but I so enjoyed stopping in Saturday morning, seeing the stenciling. I learned a lot. I didn't realize there were so many different types of crayons and ways to stencil. But to take a blank card and do relief on it with different images and different way, it's just mind blowing. It's not something I would do because I'll be honest with you, my personality, that's not going to be the best use of my impatience. But I can really appreciate the skill set, and I love that you guys enjoy it so much and share with each other. Yeah. So that is an enjoyable thing.
If you guys haven't checked out Mommy Guide, check her channel out. She's always Lala's always trying to up her game with streaming, and Scrap Stash is one of her friends, and they do a lot of work streaming during the week. So check their channels out too. And
I just want to give them a good night to Ricky. Got to head out, fellas. Getting ready for tonight's stream myself. Sending best of vibes
Thanks,
you,
Ricky.
man. And we'll check in on those, and you'll see us in our lives. And you can ignore me if you want in the lives, but you won't be able to. I'll be all over the Marvel stuff, and it's really great to meet you and your energy. And I don't think you stop smiling either. I always talk about John, how he gets smiling. He doesn't stop until he gets mad at me. But it was fun to see Ricky. I think had a nonstop smile. I think he's really in his element.
Oh yeah,
doing this and talking, and then I think when you find something you love and other people that enjoy with you,
it's contagious.
Mama's the same way, right? These are people that just nonstop smile, and I love that, and it's infectious. And
well, this is what I keep on telling people, and I say this over and over: is even if it's not like something that's right up your alley, a lot of times I go there just for the talk and the energy and the people, like just to go stop in and support good people, like going into Lala's streams and just saying hi, and they're all positive. They're all doing like a lot of work, and they're creating art, and so it's positive. You go into Ricky's stream, these people are positive. They're having a good time. There's no one there that's always there for themselves. Everybody's like giving in to kind of like how we are. It's a lot of when we start discussing things and we have input from different sides and different views, it's just constantly people supporting each other.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like we really now my mic's annoying me because I'm noticing it. I'm barely moving out of frame, and that I can tell the difference in the mic presence. And it's
don't stress about it.
Well, I'm not stressed. It's just one of those things where when you start noticing it, like when I'm noticing my 6400 getting out of focus.
Yeah, but you know what time it is?
No,
you don't.
It's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock your time. Why?
It's time to eat dinner for Zan.
Oh, was he saying? You guys are right. It's dinner time. I knew it.
Zan, it's dinner time. We got the dinner.
You know what you should do is you should do it with confetti, but it should drop like steaks and barbecue ribs instead of confetti. That would be hilarious.
Zan,
I would love that so much.
I know what time it is.
What do we got going on here? Yes, and nice video upload yesterday, John. Now,
thank you. I appreciate that.
Frame, so
yes.
You were
I appreciate that. I'm going to try to get back into the mix and get some videos up. I really kind of got a little bit of energy together about what my plan is. And I'm going to get a little bit more organized with things too.
Don't get organized. You're going to make me feel all uncomfortable.
Well, I got to get some things. The great thing is about my stuff is I don't have to be like super creative because I'm informing people. So as long as I bring the information, like that, that last video is going to show a lot of people, right? That is going to be super helpful. So when you show people things like that, and then people go and look for the stuff, I don't have to be a creative genius by any means. And I'm not. So I just try to get better each time with what I'm doing. And I was a little rusty. I can tell you that.
It's really interesting how it doesn't take long to get rusty. But you know what? It also doesn't take long to get unrusty. So, and I would have our names up, by the way, but for whatever reason, StreamYard, I have the thing on. The names are gone. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, that was happening with me. Remember, I told you like the names would be there and then they disappear.
It's just gone. Like
they were here before. I saw them.
And
then they disappeared on us.
I love you, StreamYard, but sometimes you make me crazy. That was my horrible Italian. What was that about? Good evening, everyone. Hope you're all doing better. She must be talking to our peeps. That's cool.
Hello.
Always supportive is what is important, and you're always supportive with us, and we're happy to stop in. I kind of picked up on this with Aaron. My focusing was a bit random in today's video. The mic contrast was higher than my face.
Yeah, so that's the problem sometimes. If your lighting's low and then the mic is like, we know this pod mic's a little shiny in the front. So if it catches a little light, a lot of times the camera will quick focus on that, especially if it loses focus with your eye. So if you go and turn down, and if you're wearing glasses also, but if you go and turn down, then all of a sudden it will go and pick up something else really quick. And that's part of also knowing your lighting too. Sometimes to get a video to flow a lot better, the lighting's got to be a little bit brighter on your face, and then it helps the focus box stay on your eyes more too.
All of that is important, and I, again,
but we want to vibe sometimes. So it's like, I like it a little bit darker sometimes, or if I'm meaning to do something, but I'll give you a little hint. I didn't know if anyone watched my new video. I'm actually squatting down a little bit and I'm like into the camera.
I saw that. What was that?
Actually doing that to keep the light getting in my glasses. So if I was to stand up straight and be talking to you, I would have had that light right in my glasses. And so I just ducked down and tried to make it look as, natural as possible, like I was engaging, but it was to keep that, that out of there. So I don't know. Try new things.
Give me a second.
Oh, you're changing your mic?
I'm trying.
Okay.
I'm trying to do something.
I didn't know. So, anyways, Zan's going to eat dinner, but he says, you guys make me smile and laugh. You're so cool. I don't know. I don't know if anybody's so cool, but
no,
maybe Jeff
cool,
is cool.
No, not cool.
You're not cool.
I'm not cool one bit, but I appreciate it. I love that. And man, have us over sometime for dinner. That'd be great.
Zan eats well. I have a feeling he eats good.
Yeah. And I know he said here too, by the way, before he leaves, he just shot a video about managing your team. Managing your time, energy, actions, and mindset.
Love it. Can't wait to see it.
God knows I need
Go check out Zan the Man if you want to get inspired.
Yeah, you make a smile and you're so cool. Look at that cool smile. What's Mama doing with her? Mama's doing with her M50.
Yeah.
Gonna try to use it as an overhead cam.
Yeah, I don't think she'll have a problem with that. If she's got the if she has the kit lens, which is 16 millimeter, then all she has to do is be about probably 3 feet off the table, and she's going to have a nice wide view.
Oh, that's amazing. She was doing great with what she had. That's what was so cool. But I think that's going to be a fantastic overhead camera.
Oh yeah,
you know what I mean?
I'm using it right now. I'm using it.
I know. Can you imagine that on the detail of that work though? Like all that detail, the colors, and I don't know, just from the stenciling that I saw, that could be really just any little more details is going to be beautiful on
and
that.
Then also, I mean, it's up to you, Mommy Lala, but if you ever go into your camera and you just want to change like the saturation settings 1 notch, sometimes like it'll give you your stuff that you're working on just a little bit of a pop.
So I'm just gonna zag for a second. I don't want to get too off because there are some comments on here I want to stay on top of, but I did want to go through because last Thursday you did your vibe on your mid-year thing. I did some notes on Notion, and which I have to say is more and more useful every day for me. And I just want to do a quick hitter. I did some bullet points on it. I'm curious to hear. We did discuss some of them. I'm trying to vary it up from what John had, and I don't want to lean into it too much. I think what happens sometimes when people do a little bit like a mid-year or full year review, they're kind of, I don't want to say they're negative, but it can be. I'm not negative at all. I'm like, what do I rank my year out of 10? Like so far, mid-year, not the full year because it's not done. But I was like
the mid-year. Okay.
So from January to now, which is unfair because I didn't really start doing YouTube until about April 1 till now. But let's just say
later than that, right?
Huh?
Maybe even later than that.
A little bit later than that, but let's just use that.
Okay.
A few months. I'm like, let's just still throw it out there. I guess I'm in that 6 to 7 out of 10 how I feel about it. And that may almost sound negative, but it's not. Let me go through some highlights.
7 out of a 10 might sound negative.
I mean,
it's not too bad considering how a lot of people's year has been.
Okay. Well, I mean, again, I'm talking about YouTube, not my life, because if I get into my life, that's, we're talking about YouTube life, not real life. If I had to get into my real life, I'm at a 2 with some personal things that we're working through, which we're fine. It's just everybody has a personal thing that hits them where they have to transition and they get through it usually. So we're no different and we're doing fine. In my overall thing at the scheme of this is the good so far. And what I notice is my good so far bullets, I think are pretty much outweigh my bad so far. And I'll just throw some ideas. I feel like a positive. I've learned how to live stream already. John's a big part of that. I feel like that gets me ahead of the game a little bit and got me into the other good things so far, which were working on thumbnails, having a sandbox for that, going through that process, understanding the vidIQ idea and getting into SEO and tags.
Almost everything.
Yeah.
Learning how to use your camera, how to set up a scene, how to break down.
That's exactly right there. Because learning will do that. I mean, the live stream forces you into that. Lights and it's no different than recording in a lot of ways. You have to know how to do lights and your sounds and setting up StreamYard was a whole deal, and getting through OBS and what it's forced me to do too was get into things like Notion, which has got me into already a great flow of batching and understanding where I'm going from here as I build in. So these are a lot of great things, and one of the biggest one was finding a community of like-minded people. Obviously John and Brian and other people and Mama, but Lala and all those people who've been very big supporters. I have 56 subscribers. Really, there were subscriptions based on faith. I had no other videos out for subscriptions. People kind of went, okay, you did a couple lives. He seems like a nice guy. Let's just put some faith into him. So that's not lost onto me. I'm very grateful for that.
Yeah, but you got subscriptions. You got subscribers from Lita though too, because people know you and you live streamed in there before you even did a YouTube video. So
yeah, there's a combination of all these things, right? So, and then as you mentioned, of course, you're going to learn a ton about cameras and things and you go through. So again, I really feel like there's a lot of good. As far as the bad, of course, I would have loved to have more videos out, right? Like actual videos. I think I'm up to like almost 8 or 9 live videos, which are of course different, but they do exist and they live and they have a purpose, and you still have to work them, whether they're thumbnails or vidIQ. So there's still, you're not sitting and idling on that manner. So I feel good about that. And I allowed myself to hit some of that typical valleys of creator funk. But I do feel like I pulled out of that quite well again, because of the community and people that I've met along the way. Dealing with self-doubt. These aren't really negative things. They're just things that I guess if I was looking at going, I want to never have in my head, that definitely would be one of them. And then I kind of just went into what I want to accomplish by year's end. John and I kind of talked. I would like to be in that two videos a month, comfortably, along with the 2 videos or the 2 lives we do a week. And then I do want to get into a weekly Notion or something along that line video live that I also do.
Like consistently,
like weekly, something that's different, solo, that's done for Notion or whatever. And I want to be able to have time and to give back to the people who support me even more. I want to get more. I've been jumping into live streams more lately as things have kind of uncorked for me and started to feel better. I'm starting to get back into getting into people's streams and feeling comfortable.
So I have a question for you though, quick.
Yeah.
So do you feel that that after streaming for as long as we've been now, and you started out streaming, and I think you're really comfortable streaming, and I met you through a streaming group. Sure. Do you feel that you are going to stream as much as you are now, like moving forward? Like you talked about the 2 times a week, plus you're going to do an extra stream. Do you see yourself doing that like forward? Because some people, like, we know people that do this too, who strictly stream out 2 or 3 times a week. And then maybe they put, like you said, 2 videos out a month because they're just more of a streaming. They run more of a streaming channel.
Well, that's the plan. In our discussions, that's where we were headed. And unless you change your mind.
No. I just wanted to know, like, if you saw yourself like keeping on with that
absolutely.
Kind of
I don't want to change. I love live streaming. I think there's more importance to this than I think I even knew. And there's joy to it that I didn't know. Maybe part of it is because I've always enjoyed performing. So this is kind of a fun, again, thing to do for people and interact with people in a stage-like mode. And so I do enjoy that.
This is streaming has definitely made me happier overall, because
I think there's something right. So no matter what's happening or not happening on my video for that moment, maybe I've hit a rough patch, I get to come on twice a week with John and have these lovely people. That's just going to be good no matter what. So
I really like it. I really enjoy it. And the thing is, maybe all these people don't stay here forever, but isn't that kind of the idea? Like, I hate to see people go, but like at some point when all of us get to a point where we have to focus in on our channels because now it's growing at this rate, there's going to be a new group of people coming in on the streams that, like you got a guy like Zan who's just started his channel. You got other people like Aaron who started his channel, but these people have the zest and zeal. Like I see them moving forward. You got Brian who's got a lot of knowledge about things, and I think he's going to go and attack this soon too. And then eventually you guys, you fly you leave the nest, you go, and then a new group comes in, and here we are, Jeff and I talking about whether or not you should buy the Canon M50 or the Sony.
Yeah, you'll come back here going, I haven't been back in a while, and you're like, these guys are still talking about that M50.
And the truth for this, that's what happens.
Yeah. There are going to be people that stay with us for probably ever on some level, and then a lot of people will move on because their journey is set up where they're like, I got to evolve, and my time takes me away from that. And that's acceptable. That's what it should. I get it. That's like kids moving out. There's nothing wrong with that. Especially you got Brian, who knows what he's drinking an IPA while watching. I have no idea. He's a wild card. We can't contain him in a box. So, we got to be careful with that. Zan, first of all, why are you not eating?
I want to say Mike.
Why does my shirt say Mike? It's actually MKE. You know what I'm talking about. It's MKE from Milwaukee. I live just a couple minutes north of Milwaukee, and the Bucks are back in the series, but not really looking awesome. But whatever. It's been a fun year. So it's Milwaukee. It's a Milwaukee Ale House, a place I used to play quite a bit.
He probably knew.
He probably does know. He's just yanking much, Shane.
Less than our chops. Sam would be like the fun guy out loud. He'd be like just like me. I think him and I probably a lot like.
You guys would have that laugh that across a crowded room you'd feel it like it'd be.
And we haven't even heard Zan
loud. No, but come on, look at Zan.
I just have a feeling
Zan is not laughing like a 12-year-old schoolgirl. Okay, no. Zan has got just a grown man laugh like you. That we're going to hear it. So that's pretty funny. No, it's if you didn't know, it's NKE from Milwaukee, but you know what? I'm not against wearing a Mike shirt. And we've got a real question here. Would it be better to use the kit lens or use a fixed or prime lens?
What prime lens would she be using? That's what I asked Lala. I don't know what lens you have. So the kit lens will do fine. Now that's, wide open. That would be f-stop is 3.5. And so you'd have to open it up or have some good lighting. It won't take much though. And
it looks, I could be wrong. Doesn't it? It looks like Lala has good lighting.
It appears to be because she is doing stuff on the desks. And so their idea is they got to have good light. They've always had lit desks. So
for some reason, I always feel like I didn't ever feel dark or so she probably does have good lighting, but that's a good
I didn't know she had another lens for her M50. So I'd be curious to know what she has anyway.
She's packing glass that we don't know about. So
you did say glass, right?
Huh?
You did say glass?
Yeah, glass. Oh, stop. Gosh. Oh my God, stop.
You said it.
I said glass, my friend. Oh. Everybody in this chat would be in their right to know I'll leave. You made everybody leave. We're down to -9 people in here. No, we're not. The video is uploaded on my Instagram, Zandaman Smith. Oh, wait, are you a Smith too?
I'm gonna have
not on my YouTube. Okay,
we'll check out that Instagram too.
Yeah, that's good. Ash says she's late, but she's not late. She's here when she's here.
That's
and if you're recording, which you've been busy lately, it's awesome for you to stop in and say hi. And I hope you got rid of the ants. That's a big problem. And it's funny. I've actually had an ant problem this year. Has anybody else? It's been a nightmare of ants.
I have
for some reason
because the heavy rains. I get those. They call them sugar ants, or sometimes they call them piss ants.
The tiny
ones. And
I got rid of those, but I tell you the bigger ones. And I thought, oh my God, they're carpenter ants, but they're not.
Okay.
But they've been obnoxious. I've never had a problem in 15 years here. Now I've got a problem. And everybody else is saying they have them too. So I don't feel too weirded out about it.
Yeah.
But of course you worry about
if you're in if you're in a quite a damp area, and plus it's rained a ton this year,
It
you
has.
have to hit up your foundation like about the second week of April.
Yeah.
And then once you hit that whole foundation around, then go hit it up 1 month later or 2 weeks later, and that gives it a push. Otherwise, if you don't do that, a lot of times you'll have those guys for most of the summer.
I think that's the issue. Now, what's interesting, I've never had that problem, even with a lot of rain, because I live on a very tall, like the top of a massive hill. It's very steep. So all the water runs to my poor neighbors at the bottom. I always feel bad, and it's always dry here. But that doesn't mean water can't pool in an area. It could pool under my deck. Or
you could get flooded still.
Yeah, you can still get parts of the house that are getting backed up water that you're not really seeing, and it doesn't have to necessarily be.
Because when you're on a hill, that doesn't necessarily mean that the water table is going to be any lower than any other area.
Oh, you dry out fast.
Necessarily.
Yeah, I mean, here you do. It's pretty porous, so you dry out pretty fast. But it doesn't mean you won't have spots that can collect a lot more moisture if you're getting that, like I said, on the side of the house or under my deck or something weird. So I don't know how we got on ants, but what we need to do is send your little mini rig under my deck. It's going to be hard though, and see about the ant problem. We need to use tech to see what's happening down there. But the problem is I put like 2 feet down mesh all around it so nobody could dig underneath and get under my deck. So I don't know if we get a camera in there. Let's see here. What we got going? So anyway, Ash, you're not late. You're fine. You're doing the heavy lifting. Zan says, I think a mid-year review is really smart. Reflect, regroup, and refocus and retarget. I've always felt that. As somebody who's had my own businesses, I usually did it almost in a quarter, but at some point you got to do it in order to create actionable plans, but you can't make action plans if you don't know what you need to do. And I think John does this too, like just stopping and really assessing what's going on. And like you say, reflect, regroup, refocus, and retarget. It's very important. And I hope that YouTubers understand that. And I think some people get it inherently, but I think other people really need to think about that as you're grinding. Sometimes you got to stop, get off the bike, make sure you know where your compass is, and really, get in the right direction.
You gotta make sure you're not grinding, making the same. Like, are you grinding and missing what everything that you should be taking in? Or are you grinding and learning and taking and expanding? Those are all a lot of different things, and the only way you'll notice those things is by taking a look at your channel. People ask a lot of silly questions, and I see it all the time. They'll come on and go like, if I get 16,000 impressions on a video, is that good? Well, you should be asking yourself, okay, but what's your click-through rate on that video? And that's going to give you an answer of what you're doing right or wrong. Well, like, how many impressions? I mean, that all depends on the topic and what's going on and how popular that video is. It's being pushed out by YouTube. Is it pushed out by search? So it's like, that's kind of like a silly question, and a lot of people get lost.
Yeah. Sometimes you just don't know what to ask. Like, I think sometimes I'm okay with silly questions because you're asking a question. I would rather somebody ask a silly question.
I'm always that person, I guess, that, I take responsibility for what goes on. And so I'm always making sure I'm analyzing everything to know where the mistakes are. So I always assume people look at the same thing as me, and that's not true.
You shouldn't.
No, I shouldn't. I shouldn't. Absolutely.
Assumption. And again, asking that question gets them the next step to understanding what they should look at, though. So part of this is about going, I'm not going to judge you if you ask. Now, if you continually ask the same question in the stream 15 times and you're really not working, then we got a trend that's a problem. Yeah. But I think I'm always a belief that any question that is done with intent and purpose, that's not a bad question no matter what. It can lead to some answers. I've asked some pretty boneheaded questions when I look back on it, but they cracked open to some doors of awareness for me. Critical.
Well, the thing is, right? And listen, it's no secret. I like watching Nick Nimmin, and I like, I hang out with him on StreamYard. So, and then I like hanging out with D. And
I'll never see you again after next week. But it's been a fun ride, man.
But like, they get these questions over and over, and I was on stream and I saw some of the things, and he popped my answer on is like what you should be asking. And he said, if I get 16,000 impressions, is that good? And I just made a comment, then you should ask yourself what is your click-through rate on that? And he popped it up and he says, yes, exactly. Which is sometimes like take a breath and watch what's going on, learn about the things they're talking about. Don't go in and ask a million questions that you don't know what to ask. And then at some point, like, it just seems to me, it's a bunch of people trying to find shortcuts to get to, being monetized instead of, what it is, how you get monetized? You work your butt off, because if you're going to be those persons that I see all the time in those Facebook groups, is sub for sub. So they have like 2,000 subscribers and they have 400 watch hours in a year. Like, what's the sense of that?
Yeah, it's a fine line. I mean, I tend to agree that listening is as important as talking, or probably more important, honestly. And trying to figure out, you do have to have some awareness that in these analytics, it's not one thing. It's not subs, it's not likes, it's not impressions. And so you have to try to find some awareness. But I don't begrudge somebody for asking a question. I'm not going to go probably into Nick Nimmons and say, let's talk about impression numbers. I probably wouldn't do that, but then maybe I'm aware that I should.
Listen, I would expect a question like that, in here. I guess I would expect a question like that all the time, to be honest with you. I mean, that's not like the craziest question, but then the thing that gets me is like, how does someone have even that question? Like, if you know about impressions, then how do you not know what the things are next to it?
Right? Well, maybe again, you pick up on buzzwords, you hear people talk about things. And I think, I don't know. I mean, there's many reasons that someone may do that. They may do it because they really just don't know what impressions is. They just saw it. And it is, for some people, it's just,
or it's a big number,
or it's a big number, and they want to know really, what does that mean? Is this good, or is this something that I need to compare against something else?
It means it's popular, that's for sure.
Yeah. Lala says, I started streaming on the 23rd of January, and it's been a great journey thus far. So many things still to learn, but the journey has been awesome. I can see it in your streams.
Yeah.
You're a person that, and I cover this in my welcome, and that is wonderment and joy of journey. For me, there's no other reason, because I can't predict what numbers will be, who will like me, who will not like me. I can only predict whether or not I have the intent and spirit of wonderment, what I'm going to do, and that joy of that journey. That's the only thing I can really control. And so that's for me. And I can see that's your path as well. And I really like that. Ash, she says, I love streaming, but I love making content too. I like both. I haven't done both enough, and I'm doing it. I know I'm going to like making content. Making content doesn't scare me. Okay. Getting life out of my way and getting through the flow, and having that space to kind of get it down a little bit, and also checking my expectation ego, are part of that process. Sure. I take ownership of that. But I love that you like to do both. You're good at both. You should do both. I think John and I have a love for streaming that's not going to ever go away, that I can see.
No.
If
I could do kind of like what Nick or, D does, or a few other people, then I will definitely be doing that. So,
yeah, it's enjoyable. I want to build a show out of it. I want to do, I want to keep expanding. I mean, there's so many possibilities and things that can be done here. It's going to take a grind. This is not something that's going to happen overnight. We have no, not at all. We're in a fantasy world about where we are and what it is.
But it'll be fun. I can't even wait to the first day that I say super chat. That'll be great.
At least you got your confetti, so you got that going.
We got a super chat coming in.
Ryan's like, I'm doing light drinking. Happy Tuesday.
I don't do anything light.
He's from Minneapolis. He's Midwest like me, so light could mean a lot more than
right. Light's light.
Milwaukee, Wisconsin light drinking. Oof. It's not. You can go on any corner and find a bar in this town. What do we got going on? I love this, Brian. I can't quit you guys. You can't quit us, because you are president of Streaming Buddies. And who is going to send out the newsletter?
You're going to join us.
I almost panicked when you said that. I thought he said he was going to quit us.
No, he's going to join us.
He's going to like a superheroes.
Hey, before we go any further, I just want to answer Lala just in case she goes off.
She's down there at the I see her on the
yeah,
slam.
she wants to just know. She's got the 22. She's got the Canon F2, the F2 22. So that's a good lens. And no, that's a perfect lens. Now just remember, I don't know how much room you need, but I know you guys worked with your cameras. So the kit lens would be wider, of course, you know. And but that 22 mil will be that should be good enough for the area that you're covering on your desk. And you know better than me. And that is a sharper lens. So if that lens works for you, that is definitely going to be a better lens for you, Lala, which she knows already, I'm sure. So I didn't know she had that lens. Good for her. I have it too. It's a good lens.
Yeah. She's dialed in. You know, what I like, and now the reason you like Lala is because she is your perfect avatar in that she does take a lot of responsibility on gathering, listening, taking the responsibility, getting enough information to ask, I think, really solid questions. She's never, you know what I mean? So I think that's why I think she's a perfect example of someone that you enjoy, which is most everybody.
Yeah. Plus, you know, she knows some stuff too. And then she just needs to get, she needs to be able to bounce a few things off. And so if she has somebody that she can bounce something off and then she gets a little feedback, which is fantastic because that's like what we're here for. So that is awesome. And listen, here's another thing that I want people to know. And I always will not be right. I mean, that's a fact. I won't always be right. Jeff won't always be right. But I do a lot of homework and I usually don't give out what I feel and talk about it in depth unless I know what I'm talking about. And I've been on numerous streams lately with people giving misinformation out. And I feel like people are getting like misinformation all the time about products that are out there. And you know, and I think it's a big downfall because when you're comparing products, sometimes some of these things could make or break why you would buy one of these products. And I just feel bad that like certain people trust somebody so much that, you know, leads them down a road. So I think it's just, I guess you got to trust somebody, right? So at this point, but it's just like, I get a little frustrated sometimes when I see some of this because I'll smash my head on my hand on my head. And I'll be like, do you understand how much more this product does than what you're talking about? Even like, I'll give examples. Some people think like the ATEM is just a switcher, you know, and if it just was a switcher, it's a great switcher for the price. If you just used it for nothing but a switcher, it's super cost effective, but there's so much more that people don't understand what an upstream key is, what a downstream key is, what is adding lower thirds, that it does audio, following video on the switches. So there are so many things that this does. You can control the audio out and slow it down and by 6 frames, you know, to match up with your video. There's picture in picture. Okay. So there's just so many different things that I don't even want to get into all that, but it's just, these are important things for people to know so they know what they're buying their products for. And sometimes if people go in, I take it seriously when people are looking for what they feel is the best. And that's why Jeff and I always ask like a lot of questions, you know, and then we can get a better idea of how it fits you. And not everything fits the same person. Like when overall, like I'll give you, for instance, overall, right? Jeff will say this, and we know this, the Canon, the Sony 6400 is probably the best camera that you can get under $1,000. Okay. At $9,999, $9,999.
Woof. I spend a lot of money on that camera,
but it might not be the best camera for everybody.
It's just not.
So I know for a fact it's not. So it's just, it depends on things. So we always like to ask the question so people can have something that fits their needs the best.
I'll be honest with you. And you could see I move my mic. I'm using you guys as guinea pigs. I'm just moving mics around and trying to think. Plus, I was just getting tired of having to find it. I'm not really brand loyal. I have brands in my life that I come to depend on and like, but if they start letting me down and there's something better, I'm going to go to that. Or if the situation is calling for something that's different, go for it. It's that whole Apple, Android thing I get so tired of. It's like, well, use what works for you first.
Right.
Again, it's not one. I get
It's a preference.
It's a preference. There's preferences, but the preferences are usually based either on money and or your threshold of technology and what you want to put up with or what you're curious about. PC people who use Android are a little bit more curious about getting in and mixing around with the back ends of stuff. They like to build. They don't mind tweaking up stuff, and they don't want to pay for every single app. Okay, fine.
Right.
People that use Apple products like things to just work, and they don't mind spending a couple of extra dollars here and there because it works. I got stuff to do. Perfect.
And
there's nothing wrong with that.
Good. So
that's what we need both. And they've really kept each other honest, I think. So
yeah.
I'm just trying to back up what you say on many different ways we could have that. And the cameras are a great conversation. Aaron says, I honestly would like to keep the group going no matter the size of each channel. Actually, if we grow our channels, that's the excuse for a meetup or something. I think that's absolutely true. And I know Ash dipped in a little bit after that and said dipped. I refuse to dip out. I might not be around the entire streams, but I'll never forget any of you lovelies who've supported me from the start. Truly incredible people. Thank you and thank you, because that's.
But listen, the reality of it is, and listen, I say Ash ends up having 50,000 subscribers. Mm-hmm. No one's going to have that kind of time to dip into other people's streams all the time. No, it's not going to happen. But you know what? Maybe once in a while, and then we'll be like, hey, thanks for stopping in. I appreciate it. Just like we see these bigger people support each other. We're going to be doing that same stuff.
Right. It's just just by you stopping in every so often to say hi lends so much to those people in support, and also in, I guess, I'm going to say it, credibility that really helps them boost the channel and the morale. It really makes a huge difference. It doesn't take much to give back to those people that you feel were a part of your growth at an important time. And that's how I feel. And I have like 56 subscribers right now. And if I have, 56,000, I'm actually would love that for no other reason to dip into people's stuff and give them that boost. I love that. I went into Lala's stream on Saturday. She's got way more subs than I do, but I went in there and I just wanted to go back into support. She's so supportive. And
that's it.
They welcomed me like it was such a big deal. Like it was so fun. It was just like, oh no, I'm just happy to be here. So very warm welcomings is all you do. And
I hope people get 50,000 subscribers.
Oh, I know. Absolutely. And I know you don't have ant issues, but I like to make fun of it. But it was just one ant that I wanted to include in my video for fun. And you did. And it was great. I mean, that's the thing. It's creative to put these things out there.
I'm so witty. I would like to make a joke out of that right there, but I didn't.
I'm trying to read it going, what would that joke be?
She'd be like, I don't have ants. No, she has daddy issues.
Of course.
Yeah,
and then I know Danielle's in the other room going, it's silent crickets. And she's like,
no, but I hope that, listen, I think I love the fact that we all feel we'll always be around supporting each other. But I do hope that maybe someday you don't even have the time to do that because you're so successful. You know what I mean? So that's what I hope.
And Aaron says, I agree. Kit lenses usually are a paperweight. Not always, but usually. Now, I just want to say my 5100 using a kit lens right now.
Yeah,
it's not awesome, but it's not terrible.
I don't think the kit lens I don't think the Sony kit lens, and I don't think the Canon kit lens are garbage by any means, but he's basically true, But,
it is frustrating because you start putting these other lenses on in these controlled environments, especially. It's like, oh my God, 3.5, and that's all you get. And you're trying to deal with all that lighting and limitations. It can be rough. If it's on its own, I can make this look okay.
Yeah. It's not that big of a deal anymore because these cameras that are, I think is incredible, where you can go and put the ISO on 800 and it still has a decent looking picture.
Yeah, I had a discussion with Brian about this. I had been following some people about the Sony and recording at night in the dark. And their point is, look, you should be great up to 400, and if not up to 800. There is a native ISO for each. It's a range. It's not a specific ISO number. It's a range that deals with the dynamics and the lights and the darks. And I had an education from Brian on this. It's not like I know all this, but I think people really don't understand. You can push them. 100 has not got to be your okay, just because you go up to 400 on an ISO doesn't mean you've distorted everything on these cameras. Like John's saying, these are great cameras. They're going to handle that just fine most of the time. So
yeah, I
I
mean,
just wanted to put that out there. I think people here, I got to be down to 100. It's got to be at 100 all the time.
well, photography, they want to have the least degradation you can have, but like you said, like a lot of these cameras that are out, their happy spot is in that 400 ISO range.
Well, I think, and Brian can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he was it the A7 III, R3? I can't remember. You can correct me which one but basically there came a point where the higher ISO was actually helping that actually put it more in a sweet spot. So now there's special cameras that will get you in a certain range and do certain things that are a little bit outside of the
and
scope.
video and photography is going to be different too.
That's the other issue, right? Yeah.
But I mean, but that's a fact though. So you can get good pictures definitely in there.
I'm curious if YouTube is pushing out my normal content to my orangutan subscribers. I feel like this may be the smartest question asked tonight. It has the most insight. I feel like he's probably spent a lot of time comparing to other orangutan videos, his analytics. Do you feel that, John, that he's really spent the time?
My normal content. So you're saying that my shirt video is getting around? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
What's really funny is I Googled coffee talk and tech and I clicked the videos button right on Google. Brian's video of my shirt comes up like third or fourth, something like that.
I don't doubt it. I mean, it's perfect really in that it's so loose and hip in a way, and stop animation I think always gets people attention, and it's a short video because it doesn't require so much investment, so that it's a quick payoff. I can see that again.
It's just funny because I see it
promo for you. Yeah, you can't get you're
but I think listen, if you start producing some stuff and you put it out, what do you think your first impressions are going to be?
Yeah,
your first impressions go out to your people.
I could be wrong, but I think he's being
facetious.
Goofy. I think he's playing on that. I'm asking about.
They're not going to watch your videos because they think it's going to be about more orangutans anyway. So they're probably like watch a video of me because I look like a big orangutan, but that's about it.
Well, I mean, stop eating the bananas. Nick did that for my channel to mention something I said in the stream. And that really, when people do that, it really sends a shockwave up your spine of just mental energy. And
when I was on the stream with Nick, we talked a little bit.
All right. I was trying to find a way to mute you visually, but I couldn't do it. You just take a timeout. We don't need it anymore.
Did you mute me?
I didn't mute you. That's I should.
Did you see the smile on my face? And I actually had to stop everybody. And I was
it was ridiculous. I'm like, I wanted to just turn you off because I'm like, oh, you're just too much. But I was happy for you because I know it was real with you. You're not.
I'm just happy to be in this room. I said with that.
I know you're happy with all the people that are my heroes. You are my heroes. Babe Ruth sucks. You guys are great.
It was fun.
That is really funny. Thanks, John. I really didn't know which one, so I really appreciate the advice. I will use the 22 millimeter tonight, and we'll give you a heads up next time. So yes, please do let us know.
Use the 22 because it's definitely sharper, but also that if you need a wider point of view, you can use that at 16 too. So
if we needed a reason to love Brian Paul more, I don't think there is one. So if I live stream from my 1996 Sony camcorder, would that be awesome?
I have one. Brian, which one do you have? I have one in my closet. It's like a something 6.7 AVC 67. It's a high 8 millimeter. High.
Oh yeah. I got the wrong camera. So it was the A7S3. It would be fun to play with.
Well, the A7S3 is a phenomenal camera.
That's what I meant. I got it.
So my buddy is selling one right now. Right now he's selling one, and it's barely been used. And
how much?
25.
What is it?
No way. You ain't getting one for 25, my friend. $3,000. And if I begged probably him, maybe I could get it for 28 if I begged.
That would be for me, I want to say it's kind of I would love to have that camera.
It's over the top for me.
It is. I wouldn't get out of it what other people would. Aaron's just saying, that's a series of the king of the high.
Yeah, IOS. Yeah, they're phenomenal. They're the the IO, how high you can get. Like literally, I think people like I saw Potato Jet. I think out at night at like 12,000 ISO.
You're probably looking amazing too. Like
it looked pretty good. It's still like it looked decent.
I really like him. I really like his. His channel is really pretty cool, man.
Yeah.
The real deal is, I think we could say, just he's out there.
You know what's really funny lately is that camera conspiracies and Potato Jet occasionally go back to talk about their Canon EOS R, giving it a lot of credit. I mean, recently he was like, I'm filming on the EOS R and like how I forget how good this looks. He's saying, and it's like, I have it, and I've, for the bang for the dollar, like I got that camera for $14.50. It is, I just think it's a really good camera for that price. But that's enough about cameras. But yeah, 2800 for Sony A7S III, I think is awesome.
I think that's great. I think the point that is, for that money, I could just redo so much down here and really pimp out the process. So I can't see like that money would not be money well spent for what I'm trying to accomplish.
Well, then you have to buy a lens.
Right. It's going down a rabbit hole of money that will get me divorced.
Yeah. It's an easy $4,000 off the start. So,
and then I'd be afraid to use it, and I really wouldn't have the skill set to use it, nor would it really probably.
No, the cameras that we have for a reason, and it makes sense, and you can learn a ton on there, and you can make the best videos with this stuff. We get compliments all the time, and I see top people using these cameras, and their stuff looks phenomenal. So,
well, it's just funny because Nimmons was talking when he was giving his little roundabout and his cameras. His primary camera in front of him, his A cameras, is 5100 with the 16.
Yeah, the Nimmons.
So I'm like, hey man, it's what I had forever. Now I'm using the 6400, which I'm not right now. It's turned off because the microphone is grabbing all the focus at this point. So I'm just going to kill that. I'm going to stick with the kit lens on the 5100 for the rest of the night, which really won't be that much.
Brian, that was a fun video. I did have
it was, and
fun with seeing that.
If somebody pays homage to somebody to do a video like that, that's pretty nice stuff right there. So
I wonder if Brian and I have the same one, because mine is about from 1997-ish.
Okay.
We might have the same exact camcorder.
Well, he's saying
because he said his is a high 8, and so is mine. Which is, I think it was that it's like 3 letters, and then it's a T. I bet you it's a TRV67. I bet you it's that. I bet you it's darn close to that.
Well, you'll look it up in your Notion.
And what's funny is I have it, and I looked up like 8 years ago what it was selling for, and it was selling for like on eBay for $67, something like that. I looked up last month, they're selling for like $160.
So
mine still works too.
Brian wants the camera, so basically it's perfect for him, I think. So you know what? I'll buy it for you and send it to you. It's fine. It's in the mail, man. Don't worry about it. So I wanted to answer this question first just so we can round it out. But Aaron says, I miss Canon. I would like to go back to photography, even just for fun, which I think is a great idea, by the way. I mean, just for fun is always a great motive. But the camera I liked, it has a hefty price, the Canon R6. What are those going for on the market today, Aaron?
Oh, God, I don't even know, because I would have to look at the R5 first, because I don't even know if these are another set of cameras. Like, I know I could pick up a used R5-ish. I've seen them going for I could swear I see them going for like 20, just a camera, 20. Am I wrong? 2,500, I think, is what I've seen lately. 25, 27, something around there. But they, I know Brian says, like a couple of weeks ago, he was saying something. We were talking about the Sony's overheating, but now these are the cameras that have had the overheating problems. Because remember, these cameras, they do 8K,
right? That's a lot of data, man. That is a lot of processing.
Yeah, a lot of processing, a lot of data. It's then on top of buying these cameras, then you got to buy the cards that cost hundreds of dollars to be able to keep up with all that speed and data coming through.
2.5K for the body
for an R6. Okay,
the body only.
Right.
Holy geez.
So, okay.
It's an investment. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm really happy with the cameras. I'm really, let me just wrap a little bit on the fact that so far I love the 6400. The flip, by the way, the flip display is not bugging me as I thought it much as it would. And it's a little bit better than I thought it would be in using it. Still wish it was articulating, but okay. So Brian asked earlier, as we kind of get in the 2-hour mode here, that how was the recording coming? It's done. I recorded it. Of course, I look back the next day and go, I'd like to redo it because I would like to do a different energy. But
he's not going to release it for days and ponder about it.
No, I mean, I release it tomorrow, but I mean, I'm doing the editing, so I'm editing. So give me a break.
Oh, I don't know. You said tomorrow. You can edit in one day.
No, you can't. I got a multicam set up, and I was trying to figure out how to use the cut tools in DaVinci a little bit and set up the sync bins. So I'm just trying to get that figured out. I'm 99% there. Tomorrow I get to edit Foley. I want to do that. I can do the multicam editing
just
pretty
remember
easy in the edit tools, but it's going to be long-term better to do it in the cut and the sync bins.
Yeah. You just remember when you set up the sync bin and then you set up so that when you touch each camera, that's the only thing that's going to be going at that time. And then also you just make sure you have to pick just the one audio.
No, I know how to do multicam editing. That's not an issue. I've not used the cut tools though in DaVinci. But yeah, I'm already in with my primary and synced up and everything. In fact, I've got everything set up. Everything is set up in cut. I just wanted to, there's different ways to flow that, to be honest with you. And I wanted to make sure that I was down to even how the stuff's going to auto name and picking what I wanted. Did I want to click name? Did I want to use metadata? So I'm just trying to figure out
when you bring them in, you change it right away.
Yeah, but what are you changing it to?
Whatever you want.
I know that's my point was I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, but you don't have to. Who cares if it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, as long as you know what they are. So what I would do is just put 5100 and 6100, and then you know where they are, and that's it. You're done.
You're killing me. Of course you can do that.
Yeah, but I'm just saying there's nothing to think about.
Right. Well, yeah, there's something to think about. Do I want camera 1 in that and that clip name out there, or would I prefer to have the camera itself, metadata from the camera, be part of that clip name for future reference? It's a flow thing.
But if you put 5100 or 6100, then you have your answer.
Oh, Christ's sake. Right?
Yeah,
you could do it that way. Right. Yep. You could do it that way.
But I'm just saying, you could think about it, but
that's not holding me up, bro. I'm just saying that's all part of the process.
The first time I did the multi-camera, I made the mistake of all of a sudden running all 3 videos at the same time. And I was like, and the computer was like, whoa. And I was like, what did I do wrong here?
Yeah.
And that's why I'm saying.
No, the cut tool is great. It's a great way to deal with multicams, and the sync is easy and all that. I can see where I have researched the speed cut tools and all that interface. I might do that at some point, but at this point I'm not gonna
I did that one time and I get the gist of it, how it can help you.
Because I'm going to want to be able to set that up a lot, I think, and just have 2 cams run and grab, just so I have that. But I don't want to get mired down in multicams. And if you do it right, you should be able to flow through these things pretty quickly. Grab, move, what you want. So look, it's done. I'm in. It's all good.
What's cool is that when you have a switcher, then you could just switch.
Yeah.
That does help, because that's what I actually do.
You're right. Any interface you can have to help switch it out like that is really cool.
And then I just have to stop for a second, and then after it switches, then I talk,
Oh God, you talk.
Instead of talking through it, sometimes you got to look down, and you don't want to look down at the video like this and be like, okay, and then you go into here. Okay, there's number 4.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, you can edit as you go. I just think it's a very simple tool. It's just one of those I have not used, and of course I'm editing at the same time, figuring out some other things. It's just look, it's coming along. And I'm also recording other little beat footage for the thing I want to do, which is going to be about this guy, which is a teleprompter, and then my Go XLR. So, and then my paint job. So I've got more ideas than whatever, but I've got to just continue working on and I'll be honest with you, I'm going to have to rebuild my main computer. So that's fun.
What do you mean rebuild it?
I'm not, this computer that I'm using in my editing, there's something wonky. Remember the display driver update on my NVIDIA has just screwed up. It gets weird. And so my video just goes nuts. Now the second monitor's fine, but the primary is.
So what if you just take out the video drivers and reinstall them?
I've done that. Thank you.
You have?
I've done all that, man.
So you're just going to reload Windows on it?
I think I may have to, but I just need to get things moving. I can, once this is done, this video is done and out, I can move stuff for a minute over to this other desktop and whatever. Of course I could do this in an afternoon, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It's just,
it's nice to have a fresh set of windows too, when you're doing serious stuff all the time anyway.
Yeah. Especially when something goobered up and when I redo this, I can make it specific for what I want. Here's the other thing. I want to put a different hard drive in. So an NVE or whatever. I want to get a different drive for this. So I might as well do it all at once is what I'm
for the laptop.
Yeah. Yep. Why you got that look on your face?
I was just thinking in my head, like what laptops actually have like M.2 ones.
Well, I mean, I got PCI. I can throw what, an NVE, whatever hard drive in here.
In a PCI slot?
Mm-hmm.
You could.
That's what my second drive is right now. So
okay.
So I think the way to go. I'll pop it open, send you a screenshot. Anyway, it's going well. It's just like I said, I'll finish it when I finish it, but I'm moving on it. Tomorrow's
also
editing.
I mean, you could run an external too, I like a faster external.
Yeah, I've got to
keep everything off of that.
Well, I think that's what I'm going to do long term anyway, is get just a Pimp Daddy external and run it off there. But right now I gotta deal with whatever's going on here and fix it. Yeah. So it's always something, man. So again, these things don't like really help things. These just get in the way.
No,
it's annoying.
That stresses you out. That's a lot.
It can, but we're just pushing through it. Speed Editor could work for you in the future, Jeff. Are you using DaVinci Resolve Studio? I'm going to probably go ahead and get the paid version of the studio.
Think so?
I think I might.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to look. Are you using the Speed Editor, Aaron? I'm just curious, actually. And are you doing multicam and the cut tools, or are you just still doing it in the editing?
You guys are going to pass me by.
I hope so, because that'd be the first thing that I've ever passed you by on. Continuous conversations. I wish I could edit the comments. Our comments or your comments? Or what are you talking about?
My comments? You mean you could just shut me up?
I think he's tired of your comments, because my comments would never get. This is, I think, a naming. This is going to be his name.
He's gonna. I like the orangutan better. That's perfect. I think that was a good suggestion.
13, set 1, 6400. It's not bad.
Make it orangutan 275 for the 6400. Metadata 76521 and then the other one.
I hope everybody's just turned off now and just done. And I hope they're playing video games or something. I don't know what you mean by shot 001 there. Are you talking about the camera one? Is that what you're talking about? Or I'm assuming you mean shot one, shot camera, not were you talking about overall? I don't know. Here we go.
Orangutan. Sarcastic.
Oh, okay. Orangutan 001.
Yes. 20. Oh, by the way, I forgot to tell you guys that that's video.
Pretty good. I like that, actually. I like this naming.
I think he's being sarcastic.
No, he's not. This is how he names. I guarantee you this is how he's doing his naming.
The video I did was in 24, so you guys know.
Oh, is that right? That wasn't 24, huh? I'm just curious. Why did you decide to do it? Just to do it?
Why not? Why not?
I like that. Why not? I think it's great. I thought it looked great. Sounded great. That mic turned out great, man. So whatever you're doing certainly worked. You could tell you were having fun. Your opening sequence on that video was all fun. You could tell it. You're just like, I get to scream at somebody in my mobile rig. Just push it real good. I think that's how he's singing it. Get it up and edit it. Yep. You might hope you're around, Brian, tomorrow, because I run into something weird issue. But I got the zoom in, zoom outs, and some things going on. Work out really good. Aaron, Jeff, yes, studio version. Go now to B&H and buy the sale I got. If you buy the lifetime license, they give you this. Oh, I did actually hear that. Thank you for that nugget. I'll do that when I get off of here. Actually, take a look at that. That's actually good info. I did see they were handing that out with that purchase. That might be worth the look at.
Yeah, that would probably be worth it for sure.
I think it would, and I am serious about getting that. I really believe that tool would be very useful.
I agree, but I know me,
and I'm excited for that. So, yeah. So it sounds like, you know, I know that Brian doesn't use DaVinci a lot. I think his go-to is Premiere. But it's good to know Aaron. I think Aaron and I use a lot of tools. I know he's getting. I think Aaron was the one who was interested or is using Notion or starting to as well, or at least he's into it. If you have a B&H card, no tax. Well, God, I gotta open up another card. Oh,
B&H,
the little editor thingy. It's almost dismissive. It's like, oh, it's kind of cool. You guys, that's a cool toy.
It's really cute.
He's got like $50,000 interfaces he's using to grind up his stuff, you know.
I think he's on a laptop at the diner.
Can you imagine? He's at the IHOP with like
no one uses that stuff anymore.
No one uses that anymore.
Look at these content creators.
So, you know, before we head out of here, so you're do you want to talk about are you going to talk about your little telly on Thursday? Or is that another thing you're just doing on the side? I don't want to get in. I don't want to push a subject.
Thursday?
Yeah. What is your thing on Thursday?
I don't know. I forget.
Okay.
Let me check over here.
Why don't you pull up Notion and check it out? Pull up your oh wait. It hasn't been put up yet in the live stream.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, we're just gonna have fun.
We're gonna have fun? Okay.
Yeah.
As opposed to the non-fun streams we always do with you.
Yeah, it says we're gonna, you know, keeping YouTube fun. That's what we're gonna talk about.
I like that. That's kind of right up my alley. I like that idea of getting outside of the
lap at the diner. That's all. That's how you edit, bro. That's how everybody does it.
You see all those people at the Starbucks, at the coffee shop. They all
that's it.
They're all writing scripts for movies they'll never sell.
They got the headphones on so they can hear, and then I was editing on my lunch break.
Where are you at for mid-year? What's your out of 10 being like the best feeling of what you did? If you had to do your mid-year, what would you rate? What would you guys rate yours to, by the way?
I think I'm close to it. I think I'd be about a 7.
Yeah.
For YouTube. Yeah. I think a 7. I think that if I would have kept on going with the videos, I think I would be more like an 8. And then also if I finish the year at like how I plan, it'll be like about a 9.
Yeah. I feel like if I execute the plan I laid out, the 2 plus my 1 live and then 2 videos a month on average, I'll put myself at that and push that 9 as well. I think that will be fine. And although mine is about a 7 as well, it's just we have different expectations. But given you've been around a little bit longer, you have a different level of expectation and goals.
Every day, I think that I'm not going to get another subscriber though. So it's just like,
that's ridiculous. Of course,
it's like
you've gotten a bunch lately.
I'm just saying, you do a video and this and that. I just like you never really expect it, and then you just whatever happens.
There is no content and quality, obviously the cornerstones, but grinding whatever you can. And I think some people say grinding means a video a week and never fail. No, I'm just saying it's whatever that consistency you can push out there. That is what I'm talking about. It's never given into long chasms of breaks because you feel, well, I didn't do every week, so now I don't want to do anything.
Right.
And then you wait 6 weeks to do another one. It's about falling off the bike and getting up much quicker to get back on. That's the kind of grinding, as opposed to just, I don't ever want to get back on the bike, and then you do, but it's 3 months later. So I think that's the kind of grinding. And now we'll see that with here too, although we've been very consistent with our lives. And I'm proud of that. Like when I look at our list of lives and what we're doing and how it's grown and changing already. And I'm not talking necessarily about numbers. I'm talking about content, the people, the conversations is a lot different than when we started. When we started, absolutely. It was a little bit more of a frat party, and at times there might have been a little more people here and there, but it was a different conversation. I enjoy these conversations even more though, because they're on topic on some level.
Yeah. I think we're getting into deeper discussions about stuff that's really important, that's really going to help people make better decisions and feel like they're making relationships here too, where they can bounce things off of. And I know that I've had numerous people reach out to me for different topics, and if I can help them, I will. I recently had someone else that we were in Lita with reach out to me and ask me for some help today, and I actually directed them towards Eric Bellardo. And so,
okay.
yeah. And so, if that works, because the thing is, if it's not my total forte, or it's not that particular person's, like if someone here needed me and hey, can you meet up with me? I'll go into a StreamYard. I'll help them through something that's difficult or whatever. But my time is very important right now, and I got to get done with what I got to get done. So
it's important to set boundaries for yourself. You can't let yourself get pulled underwater to help other people, even though you might want to. So that's the right approach. And you know what, Brian, and you've done that. So you should be at a 10 out of 10 when it comes to supporting your friends. You've done that so well with everybody.
Absolutely.
Aaron would like to feel comfortable with once a week, and later 2 extra more specific videos every 2 weeks. And I think it's a thing. Everybody's like, oh my God, Jeff, as soon as you're done with this, you got to be doing 1 a week and get it. I'm like, oh my God, let me just figure out what the lights are. As I've gone through this, I really feel, and I think maybe John would agree, but let's just start with 2 a month. Let's get 2 solid ones a month moving, keep things going, keep learning. And then as time goes and pushing the needle of your efficiency and your process, I would like to get to 3 and 4.
Yeah, especially if you're streaming. And you got to remember, you were talking about doing a teaching, learning notion, right? Which is like you would have to put things together, and you would have to have topics. So to be honest with you, I think that expectation of 2 videos a month is enough. And then if that process gets honed in and modified, then you can do that. But I mean, right? Because say you get so good after a year of doing everything, and you're saying, well, I don't want to put time restraints on it. I just listen. Yeah, I'll give you, for instance, I always used to release a video on a Thursday or a Friday. And I was like, I finished this video today, and today's Tuesday. I was like, I'm going to release the video today. I'm not waiting. I haven't put a video out in 6 weeks or 8 weeks. So I'm going to put the video out today. And then
I don't think you need to worry. People are just
not stressing over that simple
weird stuff. And it's like, put the video out.
That's it. Put the video out now.
There's no reason. There's no grand release. Just put it out. Let people know.
And you know why I'm putting it out now? Remember I told you about my video that talked about this topic, and it's over 1,000 views right now. It's gotten like in 6 weeks, it's gotten like 800 views. So at this point, I just wanted to get the updated video out, because this way people can find that information so much faster, and that video can start, getting some views. And I don't stress about it. And then I'm going to start working on my new video tomorrow, and I'm not going to stress that I have to record the whole thing.
Yeah, that was one of the things.
That was one of the things I was always like, I gotta.
It's funny you say that. So yesterday, I had over here where I'm pointing, you can't even see, but I over to my left here is where I had the screen, and I was doing the little trailer. I mean, time will tell if it mattered, but I learned so much from doing it. It mattered. And as I was wrapping, I decided, oh my gosh, this teleprompter thing really saved me. And it was actually worked out so well. I know people have done it, but I'm like, I'm going to do a video. It's here. It was set up. So I did that. I shot footage of my setup and footage of the exact setup that I had with this unit, how I had it set up with the camera and everything. So it's B-rolled in a sense, or I have footage that I can use. Again, it's thinking ahead, and I dump that into my Notion. So I don't care that everything's not shot in one day.
Right.
You can't worry about that. And I'll be honest with you, I don't think that's a great game plan long-term.
No, because you know why? It shuts me down from creating tomorrow.
That's what it is.
Yeah, and I'm like, wait a second. I'm like, I think I'm going forward, but I'm actually going backwards. And I'm like, you know what? I got to have a better plan, which is start my intro and begin my product in a certain way, get that all done, get the lighting all set up, get everything dialed in, which takes a little time, right? Because I'm going to be on that back table and whatever. And then just do the beginning. And then once I get done with the beginning, then I can I can go into that process. And so what if I have to wash a shirt one time and wear it again because it's the same shirt or something?
Who cares? I think that's the thing. Like I would think that too, and going, well, then wash it. Like you say, like there's an answer to this problem. Why are you sitting here like this is the?
I'm not going to stress over it.
No, it's stupid. It's not stupid. It's unnecessary to do. It is something that we've done and we're working through. But
and then another thing, like I was talking to, the wireless goes. There's a million videos on them.
Yeah,
and I'm like, I was like, I'm probably not going to do a video because there's a million. Yeah, I'm going to do a video on them.
Good on you, man.
I'm going to do a video on something a little different where it's just like going to be in the settings and the best settings. And it's going to be my opinion on them in general. And I'm going to tell you right now that one of the things that I saw a creator who has over 100,000 people talking about a different type of setup. And he was like, I like this setup better. It's this better. It's much cheaper than the Rhodes and this and that. And I'm like, do they record? Are they recorders? Oh, right. No, they're not. Okay. And I'm like, usually the recorder ones, those are a lot bigger and you have to put an SD card in. And I'm like saying, does this guy even know what a Rode Wireless 2 is at this point? Like, why would you even make those comments if you didn't even know? And so I was like, wow, that blew me away. Sometimes I look at people, you see how they're niched into something sometimes. And then you realize like, well, this guy's been making phone videos for 2 years.
Yeah, and you gotta follow a particular person who, by the way, he killed his channel. He just totally Navrot. He just basically ended his channel for Mike. Said, if you wanted it's here, but I'm done.
Who's this?
Navrot, or the Mike? Or
that guy, the crazy guy.
He came on one night. Hey, look at you! Look at that, Tony McCullum. I didn't even see him. Stop
Tony, if you're watching a live stream or you don't even know probably, but you just subscribed to me, thank you so much.
You may not know. That's the whole thing.
Even know.
Subscribe off a video, but you know what? For you, it doesn't matter. It's still
we're gonna drop confetti for Tony anyway. That's He's hilarious. My new subscriber, so thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Great, glad to see that.
God, that's so fun. That I love that works.
Yeah, it is great. So yeah, he just kind of went, I'm done with this. I can't, but his point was
he's going to be back. You crazy.
He keeps quitting it, but he really seems serious this time. Because his fitness channel really took off. But his fitness and eating well, his keto,
he used to eat keto
channel really took off. This guy is so bipolar, but I love him.
I love him too. He's addicting too.
He's addicting, and I've learned a lot. I actually have learned a lot on him, and
really.
Yeah.
Have you really learned a lot?
Man, there's a lot to learn there if you really pay attention to the swearing. That
his
dude
cat, did you realize his cat climbs on his he doesn't make his bed. He eats Cheetos and sweet things.
And I don't mean to get off topic, but this is a guy who just he lives the clean life for a minute and then he falls off the wagon. And the next thing you know, you're getting a video notification of him shooting at 2 a.m. a camera shot at his tennis shoes. He's all drunk and he's and he's having this like the whole thing down, a whole breakdown. It's just I don't know. He's very interesting. But anyway, so yeah, you're right. He'll be back. Of course he will. But he turns comments off all the time and it drives me crazy because I want to leave comments and support the dude. But while you're looking that up, I just want to read something Aaron wrote that I really liked. And that he's saying that my most satisfying thing this year, a bit selfish, and I actually think it's not, is being more comfortable in my skin about the idea of content creation, being in front of the camera, speaking in English, self-doubt.
Yes.
And I have, you know what, Aaron?
First of all, I want to thank him for saying this.
Oh, it's a wonderful thing to say. It's a very vulnerable. And
yes,
Aaron, I'm still living in that a little bit. I went in April when we did our little live streaming pro thing for a month. It really hammered me with this idea, what you're talking about. And it really helped me. Now, I don't have the issue, obviously, although I'm a terrible at grammar in English. Obviously,
I'm struggling in English also.
It isn't at a component. Like if I was trying to if I'm already tough enough and then I got to speak another language and then feel maybe like self-conscious about that, I can really appreciate that. But I really love this comment, and I really believe by just saying the comment and us having
Yep.
this conversation, you're going to push through this. This tells me that you're ready to push through this.
Yes.
I can read it, and
Jeff,
yeah,
good comment, man, because I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. Now, just saying that, right? Him coming out here. And this is why I made that comment about his video, because I kind of know how his
You got
first
insight
couple
into the video.
his couple first videos are kind of like to this insight, and I'm telling you, his English, and when he's doing his videos, I don't have a problem with it at all. It's absolutely perfect. There's no problem at all. I just say, keep on doing what you're doing and don't stop being who you are, because that's what makes me want to watch his videos. Yeah.
And so I've been doing the lives, but I haven't done a recorded videos, and we know they're different animals. It's like studio recording versus live gigging. They're not the same. A lot of guys can't do one or the other, and they're not the same thing. They're different skill sets. And as comfortable as I am in the live setting here, when I sat down to shoot down a little welcome trailer, I realized how self-conscious I was getting myself into. And a lot of it was just, I couldn't find my words. I think this is what Aaron's saying, that just finding your voice that feels right for you. I don't think I'm going to find it in the first 10 videos. I realize that now. Now, what I did realize as I spent time with the teleprompter, read through, took a break, came back, read through, took a break. That's important, by the way, to take a minute, come back. I was starting to get into a groove and feel a little bit better about it. And I was like, okay, this is my delivery here. Makes sense for me. So what I realized though, is like, I can't go back. I'm not going to keep going back to this. I got to just nail it down and move on. But what I see is over time, and Aaron, I'm hoping you will find this, that we just start to feel it. Like we start to feel it. I look at John's videos. I can see from day one the difference in the growth. And then you have yesterday, it's not even close. Like you could see the evolution of John's doing this. Like
but see, my videos, listen, Aaron's videos are a lot different than my type of videos, where I'm just giving insight on a topic that's going to help somebody get something done.
But it's not. No, I hear what you're saying, but it doesn't change that your delivery about your voice and the energy of who you are.
Right. It's better.
The organic, it's still coming through in a different your way.
But I think we had this discussion, you and I, about this a long time ago. And I knew you were going to get caught up on this situation. And I'm giving you your space, but it would frustrate the hell out of me because you're holding yourself back. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm not. Like I said, I recorded. It's done. I'm not going to go back and redo it.
You're still going to do it, but I think you're beating yourself up is what I'm saying.
I did for the first, you're right. I did when I look back at it originally. Again, this is my first looking at recorded vision stuff in 4K or whatever, high D. And I'm looking at it going, okay. At first I went, oh, but that's not, and then
but just let yourself go, bro.
An hour or two later, I sat down, worked through my tools of saying, you gotta let this go, man. This is what John's saying is right, but I can promise you I didn't live in that space for very long. But I did. I mean, that is a trap. It's an absolute trap. And
but see, once you live in that space at all, you start letting the self-doubt things creep in. And then you say, no matter what, if you let that little bit of self-doubt come in, it holds you back for days. And you just gotta.
No, that's not true. I mean, if you let self-doubt,
some people, not always, but I'm just saying.
If you let self-doubt and it lingers, yes. If you let self-doubt in and you use tools to push that back, you're reconditioning and rewiring the issue. So
everybody can do that.
So you're right, but you need the tools and you need that support and awareness. So what you're saying is 1,000% correct. If you let that creep into your psyche, and you are in danger of letting that ruin a whole week of time or more.
Yeah.
If you don't push back, and I feel like I did, and I sat there for a minute and going, and then I went, okay, I'm not getting into this trap.
Yeah.
You have to be aware.
I just want you to know, no matter what, these videos aren't going to be something you're going to look back on in a year and be like, this is great. So it doesn't matter.
It's not.
Just
and that's what
get it done.
And that was kind of where I started laughing because I went, oh, gives a shit. I mean, I'm going to look back at this in 6 months and laugh.
I want you to
because
celebrate yourself getting this video out.
Oh, I am
not
absolutely
beating
right.
yourself up.
Don't I appreciate that. And I know that's the intent and spirit of that is of absolute. You want me to experience the joy and the upside of that success. I totally get that.
And not beat yourself up. That's the
No,
thing.
man. I promise you I'm not. My issues right now are not at all that world. My issue in that world is figuring out how to use cutting. And I think where I got to be careful, if I do have to be careful, is to not try to over edit, to not try to be too cute and try to learn everything on this first pass. So that's where I don't want to do that. And I had a little bit of consultation with Brian, and and then when I talked about it, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to pull back and use what's native, do a couple things. It's fine. The multicam is as deep as I want to go, and it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And then I can get on.
To be honest with you, that's a lot for your first video to be wanting to do multicam.
It is. But it was a figure. You're going to pay that price here. You're going to pay it down the road. At some point, you're going to have to. I think you're going to have to learn it. For the videos that I want to do, I want to have that capability always handy with me. So I've decided to work. It is. But it's important to your too. It's
you might change that trailer in 6 months. You might not even want it on your video anymore.
You're getting lost into the trailer where I'm getting lost into the sandbox opportunity to learn something that I can continue to use now as I move forward.
That's true. You can, but it'd be better if your trailer was up and then you learned.
Oh, maybe you're right.
That's my point.
Yeah, you could be right. You could be 1,000% right.
But I'm not judging. I just
it's your opinion. I get it.
I want to see you do it. That's all.
Okay.
Not because of anything, but the more you give yourself time, the more you think things got to be like this perfect. And like I said, if you go back to like Sean Cannell, the guy, he's on a video just saying, yeah, I think this is going to be my first video.
No, and I get that. Again,
and now the guy has over 1 million subscribers.
Yeah, I'm with you, man. Don't
beat yourself up. And Brian, same thing. Like you guys know, you guys are going to probably pass me by and all this jazz. And all I'm just trying to say is, maybe one thing I have going for me is that like, I don't feel like if people want to judge me, I don't really get upset about it.
I don't really care about people judging me.
But I know I'm not going to beat myself. Like I got to get the stuff out because the realistic point is like, if you don't do it and you're not like, do you realize once you start this process, you're not going to have 6-8 weeks for every video. If you're serious about making,
that's why I'm creating efficiencies now, bro.
Yeah, I understand that. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that.
Okay. So when I've already got,
but when you start
almost 30 video ideas in my can right now, I can set up an idea and go and B-roll and know what I'm doing and batch right now with Notion, for example. This to me is that idea of just enough of what I want. Cause I know in my space or what I want on my videos, no matter what, I want to have that option of a quick multicam.
I just want to see yourself set up. So this way you can bang those videos out and
that's the point.
Have an amazing chance to be monetized in 1 year.
I know, but here's the thing. I agree with you. But again, and of course, part of my hang up here, and I don't like to get personal on camera, but I've had to deal with an awful lot.
Yes.
That's not on my control in the last
couple
weeks in the summer. So I don't want to make excuses, but it's been an unreal year our summer. And that's just the way it is. And I'm working through that. But for me, you hit something that is very true. If I was sitting around not progressing because
you're not doing that. We know that.
And then we would have a problem, right?
Yeah.
But I'm progressing nonstop. When this flows out, I will have that efficiency of flow to do basic things and get that stuff out the way I envision it pretty quick. So there's a fine line though there. There's a fine line between the warnings that you're giving, which are extremely valid, and me not living in denial, but also, doing what I'm doing. So these are very important conversations because there's a thin line here.
Yeah, but I'm also not living your life. And I know you have a lot going on and that could be like scratching the surface. You know what I mean? So at this point, I'm not trying to be judgmental in any way, but I just, I know that we've talked about these talks and Aaron is like another person that maybe, he puts a lot of stress on himself about how something may come out. And, you know, I just like to see the people that go and judge other people put stuff out. Like, it takes a certain amount of humility, you know, it takes a lot for a person to put stuff out, to make judgments on. And you know what, if they're going to go and bust your chop or something, you know, because my video is not absolutely perfect, then whatever the case is, but I'm the one that's putting myself on a platform to be judged, and I'm the one doing the hard work, and I'm the one that's going to hopefully in the end persevere, and then we break through and we all get to the place where we want to get, right? We're not doing this.
I will tell you this. Jen, you're right. And I would tell you this. When I redid my sync up, because I did it through editing, and I'm like, no, I want to use the cut tool. So I redid everything. And when I got everything in the cut tool and the sync bins and everything was lined up and everything's ready to go, I could tell you I was a high. Like, I was extremely proud and happy of all that. And that for me was a good sign. I didn't live going, oh, this is fantastic.
Oh, I did my first video and I edited on DaVinci. I was like, oh my God, I did it. I haven't
edited it yet, but you know, I've got it in there, and that was exciting. Like, recorded it was exciting. Getting in is exciting. Hearing that the audio could be a little bit better. I'll play with it and we'll get it fine enough for this.
Oh, make sure you use the EQ when, like, listen, when you drop your audio in, I'm sure you do this, but listen, what I do is when I drop my audio and my video in, I'll listen to my audio a little bit. Then I kind of know my voice and the way my mics are and everything. So I go right over to the, what is that? What are they?
Fairlight?
No, I don't. I even go into there. I just go.
Is probably where you go.
The inspector. Yeah. I just go right into the inspector. I hit the audio on. I hit the EQ where it's good for my voice, and that's it.
No, I mean, I just dumped like $2,000 worth of VST3 plugins in there. I'm going to definitely have a good voice. That's not, I mean, if there's one thing I know how to do, it's EQ. You know, but
so are you gonna okay.
I mean, dude, I can EQ the hell out of shit. I mean, that's my world. You know,
you're gonna
not a problem, huh?
Sounding good then.
It'll sound good. Yeah. I mean, the only issue I have was the mic was a little bit further away than I wanted. So I may have a little bit more air. So I'll have to deal with some of that, but you can do a lot.
Once you add your music in the background,
no one's going to hear it. No one's going to notice it.
Nope.
And again, I
had air in the beginning of my video.
Did you? And no one's going to care. I mean, again, I just want the video done and with some minor expectations of what I want out of it. But again, it's not because I has to be that way. It's because I want to learn how to do it. So I have these basic tools. There's about 3 or 4 different things I want to be able to do. So now when I go on to my other videos, if I learn something new along the way and pop a new thing in each time, great. But there is just a baseline I wanted, and I'm almost there. I'm going. So yeah.
I do the same thing. Like I always want to try like one thing new.
One thing, right?
Yeah. And then this way it accumulates over time. And then you have, these 20 things after a year that you can do different.
It's the best way to do it. And I've learned that from learning music. Learn a piece, have another piece on. Don't try to do too much because your myelin will never get it right. So, I'm not trying to overdo it here either. I've just some baseline stuff and just, and I had some other ideas and I dumped all that.
DaVinci's deep though.
It's so deep. So you got to be careful. And, Brian and I talked about that. I'm like, Brian, these are all great ideas. We talk about, I just need to be able to do maybe a little zoom and get the multi-camera thing figured out, which I know how to do the multi-camera, but I want to do it through the cut tool, which is new and I have not used it. So I figured let's use this as a sandbox to do that. I love that discussion. What is this? Add the RGB shake transitions. Get out of here.
He's talking about the one. Remember the ones I used to have, the RGB shake in OBS?
Oh, yeah. I truly appreciate all the good vibe and kind words, guys. Lala, Brian, Jeff. John.
Yeah, well, listen, Aaron,
they're all true.
I just want to, if you have more than a few people telling you the same thing, that's a good indicator that you're in the right direction. Right?
Yeah.
Would you say?
That's exactly true. And, look, the weight of the opinions here is that you're in the right direction and that you can start to let the grip go a little bit of those concerns. It's a lot of pressure to say, I'm just going to let go of all of it. Don't just start to just let go a little bit and you'll be amazed at how quickly you drop the concern, but just don't put expectations. Just lightly let go of the concerns of this overthinking or self-consciousness that you might have. Let it go. Let it go a little bit more. Let it go a little bit more, and really quick, you'll be gone of it. And look, it always creeps up, but this conversation alone is a tool that is being developed to get into your head that you will be able to use at some point when this comes back up. You will recall these conversations, I hope, because I will. Yes, Brian, really looking forward to your streams. You have so much talent and you can really impact a lot of people. Help us for sure. Absolutely. Well, I think the talent's undeniable. I would say the impact is right on too. I look at the impact of the small little video we did for John's shirt. There is a huge impact underlying there that we could always, inspect if we wanted to. It's an impact on John and how he feels about what he's doing and his logo and how he's building his community and how far he's come, because to get the logo and then have somebody to do this on a shirt that they bought off of his site, that's a huge milestone that he can sit and look at and go, wow, that's my.
I think you just hit the head on the nail. For me, as an impact, it's Brian showing me, his friendship,
right?
By reaching out and doing that. Where I have very little people that have done what Brian has done. So, and then on top of that, it goes tenfold with the support that we get on the streams from him and other people, and so that's another factor.
Right. So. And when Robert does the You Inspire Me, was it Robert?
Yeah.
You Inspire Me. And again, that's another,
show of action. Yeah.
Right. Where he pulls in and there's a huge impact, but I wanted to call out Brian on that because I think he may think, all it was a little stop animation thing I threw together. Like, you do realize,
it's just not the video though.
That was right. I think that's the impact word really mattered to me there. And I wanted to dissect that a second. And that it does have an impact. It impacted me because I saw the effect it had on John in a lot of different ways. And I thought to myself,
shared that on my Facebook. That means a lot. Like,
right. And I thought, I don't know. Yeah, no, exactly. Just like you shared his Emmy on your stuff, and I did as well. These little things have huge impacts, and there is a huge butterfly effect that sometimes we have to step back and say,
I love where you're going with this.
Yeah.
No, I really do. I love
this is something I want to talk about. This is what I get into in my trailers. I want to talk about these issues.
Continue on what you said, butterfly effect. I love this. Go ahead.
It is. It's a butterfly effect, and him being Brian in this case, doing that can really set somebody like John had something that we all, and Brian, I know you know this because you've had this conversation with me, and I'm not going to call it out, but we all have been we've all had the rug pulled from us by people we thought would support us, like family, maybe friends, that didn't they didn't follow through. So we're a little bit wary, I guess, of people doing things for us. We're going to go out and help people because that's who we are. But having people do things for us, it's hard to believe it's going to trust in. So when you go out and you do something like this, or somebody does this, the impact is massive, and it sets off a chain. It really does. It starts to set off a chain that is not really measurable, but does exist. It's not even tangible, but it does exist.
It's not something that I think anyone even really. Yeah, we don't think about it, but it's happening. I like where you went with that because it sent good vibes my way. Then the good vibes got carried forward. It shows me that, like,
dude, I saw the transition. You were in a rut and burned out, and then you went to reevaluate. Some things really started going. Now they were all you're doing. You grinded. You kept going. But the impact of that and some other things that people did.
Yeah.
Having
my friend Chris come out and help me with my logo was huge.
But here's the difference. Here's where the butterfly continues, because John turned around and has put out a crap ton of positive frequency to a lot of people. I know this because I've seen it. And it's been, again, immeasurable. So it split off into a lot of different way. So this is an exponential pass through of an impact. And I think it's really important, and it's not deniable. It's real.
Yeah.
And so I love that because I saw the impact and it exploded. And then John's putting that out there, and he took that energy and ran. Guys like John will probably take that energy and maybe push further than a lot of people because he has that in him. But man, it's the real deal.
That's a good point. I think everything that you said is a good point. Not just what I'm saying with me, whatever. I'm me, whatever. But I think what you're seeing also is some kind of right in front of our eyes, right? We're having some kind of solidarity between Jeff, myself, Brian, and other people on here, where we're here for each other and we're here to back each other up. I know Jeff's been going through a lot, and actually, there's a reason why I haven't been keeping in touch with you the last 3 days, because I think you need a little breathing room. I know you've been going through a lot with everything. So
yeah, I got some parent issues health wise, and just some personal.
So I check in and whatever, but listen, no matter how busy I am, no matter what, you got to send me a message if you need any help with anything too. If I can help you in any way, I'm always there for that fact.
And that's true. And I have leaned on John quite a bit. I think what's been exciting, I did that a lot leading up to when I recorded the trailing, I call it the trailer. It's just a welcome thing, whatever, the video. And Brian as well. And then it got to a point where these guys, I have enough. I'm good right now.
Yeah.
And so I did what I did. It was stressful and frustrating at times, sure, but I did it. I got it done. I'm like, oh my God, it worked. And I got it into DaVinci, and it's multicam. And I'm like, this was easy. Like the multicam stuff was actually easy. So it's not like so I think it was important to do. So, and I thought, well, if it doesn't work and it becomes an anchor, I am going to just slide the idea. Right. But all I had to do is just record off the 51 and add it. And if it worked, it worked. If it didn't, I got a camera. It's fine. Right. But it worked, and we'll put it through the grinder, and it's going to be great. But I think what was the reason I haven't been, besides some of the personal stuff, which it's calming down, it's because I was on my own. Like I got it right now. Now I may fall apart tomorrow and go, hey, how do you move? But right now I'm in a good space. Yeah. Yeah.
Listen, the thing is that I love to do is, I didn't have anybody help me. I didn't have anybody to bounce anything off of. I didn't have anybody to go and ask questions. Mm-hmm. I did everything myself. And then I think that was part of the reason why I got a little burnt out, because I was learning what was working and not working. And I was learning everything about these pieces of equipment. I retained so much knowledge about the tech. It's ridiculous.
Can I ask you, do you think, because I think this is important, do you think you had a lot of energy at the beginning, right? You had to blah, blah, blah. I love tech. I'm going to get in this. I'm going to go. And you did. And like you say, you're a self-taught guy, learner. I'm that way most of the time too. But do you think you hit a point where, because maybe you weren't quite in the community of support that you were hoping, and you didn't have someone to lean on, do you think at some point you just go, God, I'm burnt out. Like I need somebody to put some energy.
I think the move had a lot to do with me. I mean, I moved our whole house.
Well, that's true.
Moved school systems for my son.
Life. Okay. Real life.
To have him get up and say he misses his friends from his other school, it breaks your heart.
It is. I felt for him. I saw his video, and I moved about an average of once every 1.5 years as a child, from kindergarten to high school. And I can tell you, being a new kid is a stressful deal. I really loved his video and how he dealt with it. He's a very mature young man.
But those
you got to admit though, not having maybe a community or some other positive feedback.
Yeah.
At some point that might have helped you a little bit.
Well, I was looking for that when I first met you, and that kind of never happened for me. Okay. And then I got the best thing about the whole situation was meeting a few people, and then making those relationships, and that kind of just happened. But I kind of, it was, I guess things are, I'm not a kind of guy that jumps into group sessions with people. You know, it's not my thing really. And I don't stick around to stay there for future events. Like I'm a kind of guy that wants to go in, learn, and get out. So,
yeah, I mean, I got the message about Lita again, and look, I'm no disparaging thing about Lita, but people keep asking me if we can do Lita. I think if you need Lita, go for it. If you need to do the live every day in August, whatever.
right.
I
But
don't.
I'm doing stuff here.
Yeah, that was my answer is I'm so bottlenecked here that I need 40 hours just to kind of things. So I'm not going to do that. I appreciate what it gave me, and it did give me a lot. And I would say, okay, all the other stuff aside, what it gave me are you people. Because it's no doubt in my mind from everything I've ever done in my past life as a freelancer, nothing ever worked if I didn't have people around me that were worth the salt. And so for me, the community is ultimately the only way this works for me.
Yeah. I had no community at the time.
Thank you,
I
Brian.
was saying I was going to go and start streaming 3 months earlier than I planned on streaming.
Yeah. Okay.
And that didn't happen. And then no matter what, with my personality and how I am, I was going to push forward no matter who I met or who I didn't meet.
You're like me. I'm willing to grind. I will outwork you if I have to. You know, that's kind of the old thing. But I think that takes you so far, especially in something that you're emotionally attached to. So like you have emotions. If we're going to grind out because we're coal mining, we're not going to have an emotional attachment to that.
Well,
right?
You know what? Here's the thing. When you were talking to me first, I think Aaron's relating to us in a lot of ways what we're talking about. And
sure. Okay.
And he understands, right? So I was learning everything, learning. And a lot of people people do Lita to get handheld, you know, to get to a certain point to learn about these things. I knew all about what it took to stream before I talked to anybody. And then I had to build things from scratch. I mean, they're not going to Lita to learn how to build a PC like I did. They're not going to, you know, put this kind of stuff together in months like I did. Like these are I had a preconceived idea of where I wanted to go with everything already. And then it was like watching reviews on stuff and making mistakes and then just buying and getting my hands on the right equipment.
Yeah.
I didn't realize even what a stream deck, how important it was until I streamed. You know, and when I started adding numerous things into your stream, then I realized that's the only goddamn reason anybody would need a stream deck.
Right.
Why do you need it without streaming?
I personally, because I'm a person who will look ahead and go, ooh, I love the efficiency of what that just showed me. Right. I bought into the stream deck first time I saw it on Alpha Gaming. So I went, okay, I just haven't gotten one because quite honestly, I'm kind of a one trick pony here, but you're at a point where, oh my God, stream deck. You are built for a stream deck right now, for example. And I love that you were kind of like, stream deck. And then you just, you went with it because you're like, yeah, now it makes sense. You weren't so close-minded about it. Yeah, it makes sense now for you. Look at that backlight, chef's kiss. Are you talking about the backlight on my monitor? What's funny is I kept trying to turn my lights to get these monitors. Otherwise, they're just black. So you do need to angle them at the right way.
Get a little bounce of color off.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's just a black, ugly mess back there. So I appreciate somebody noticing that. Appreciate that. Lala says video recording, editing. That's something that I really need to start learning. I mean, your lives are incredible. If you want to start taking that into a deeper realm, I mean, you have you have this creative ability. So I would imagine with some editing and recording prowess, you would be pretty dangerous.
Yeah, that would be cool to do. And but also she's got like this little niche where it's kind of cool to do what she's doing live too.
Definitely want to take away from that. But let's just say that she slowly put no expectation, but kept moving the needle. But of course, the best way to do that is always, that's why, you know, the joke of the welcome, I'm a big believer that the best way to learn something is to have a reason. So whether it's a sandbox, I use that sandbox as a term. We use it as web development all the time. You need a sandbox. You need something to do to really learn the tool. So for Notion, I needed to have real applications to really learn the tool. Otherwise, you're just skirting around the issue.
I think
so. Have a real reason. Have a video where you're like, I'm going to do a video for something. Maybe it's just a welcome video, trailer video, like I did, and just set something on the road. And then
doing both definitely gives you growth,
I
a
like
little
both.
faster.
I both give me
That's
life.
the whole idea. I mean, it does. I mean, because here's the truth of the matter. No one watches, streams as much as they watch regular videos, right? Because the streams are tough. I don't want to take away of the rawness and the whole live chat situation of a stream. So I don't want to go in and edit my live streams. I want to keep them raw. And that's just the way that I think I always would do it, but not everybody does that. So,
right.
You got to do what's right for you. But I just see myself doing both because I think both are going to get you the growth, because when you make videos that people search, these videos will be getting searched for years to come.
Brian, get some sleep. We're going to finish up here shortly.
I hear that too, Brian. I'm right there with you.
We're going to close her up, but
and then Aaron's making a lot of good comments here too.
Yeah, I'm going to grab
with
a second.
Everything,
the butterfly effect is like, I just think there's a lot that goes on in this community. And I think that when people start opening themselves up to being okay and being out of a combat mode and more into being on the same frequency and giving and receiving, they're going to see the growth really at that point more than at any other time.
Absolutely.
Aaron, happened to me during the pandemic, John. Way too much technical information. Even having photographer background, it was hard to organize so many ideas, keeping a budget.
Yes.
I have found, I don't know if I mentioned on air, but I think one of the dangers I ran into as I was trying to start really getting into the video recording, because I'm like you, John. I like to deep dive into a lot of photography guys, tech guys, Ali Abdal guys, like life guys, production guys, productivity guys. And
Brian's saying good night.
Yeah, I saw it. I already said
good night, Brian.
And what I realized, kind of like this, sometimes it's too much. Like you got to start regulating yourself a little bit. And I realized I needed to pull back a little bit so it didn't start to taint or wear out my originality or what I wanted to do. Like you could say, I'm not going to try to compare what they're doing, but sometimes if it's so much all in there, you can kind of get lost a little bit in some kind of weird bias.
I'm a tech channel, so I need to know this stuff anyway. And so on a somewhat level, I don't have to keep up with every tech, but I have a love for PCs and building them and stuff like that. So, I mean, first I would love to keep up with that. And then building out a stream studio was like a dream come true. I really, really enjoyed this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. and I'm right there with him. I told people that I was getting up at, early and driving in the snow to go pick up my A10 Mini.
There's nothing worse than feeling like you got taken when we don't have the money or the time or the overhead mentally to deal with somebody. I got taken. I tried to buy my first camera online in February of 5100. They stole my money, and I got the money back because I have ways, which is very difficult in today's world. But yeah, got the money back. Somebody in Georgia tried to scam me out. But it taints you a little bit. You're already at a low threshold. We're already in COVID. Things are happening in the world. You're already feeling a little bit insecure. I take some of the blame for what happened. But my point is, I feel you, Aaron, where there is a joy to looking for things and getting good deals and knowing that you got a good investment like John goes through. Like John's really good at going, and I'll ask John, say, is this overpaying or what? Because he's more on the marketplace right now than I am. I don't really have the time or the effort. I just don't have the desire to be on marketplace. But
no, it's an addiction.
It's an addiction, and he's on it. Why not ask him? He's a walking Wikipedia on the marketplace right now. So why not ask him? Aaron, so you returned the A10 Mini. It wasn't necessary for you, fair.
Right.
Some sold some of my photography gear, kept the A6000.
Right. Yeah, and then he could probably pick up an ATEM for used at some point if he chooses to, or if he only has 2 cameras and he doesn't want to go into the use of a whole ATEM, then he can go and pick up another Cam Link used. I mean, there's lots of options.
Let me ask you something, John, on an ATEM. Do you think if you're at 2 cameras or less, do you think you maybe not put your money into the A10. But do you still think if you have only 2 cams, let's say I only have 2 cams and I decide not to go past that?
Well, then you could do 2 cams and then you could hook up to one of your displays too.
Yeah, that's true though. Yeah.
I mean, but listen, it all depends. Like when you're using, if you're using OBS, it's easy to do a screen capture.
I know, that's the whole thing. I've not run into a situation where I feel I have needed that. And by the way, I did order the PC Pro panel today.
Oh, cool. And then I knew you were going to order that the day I watched that video. So
I'm like, well, I'm going to buy it. You knew, you could just tell by my voice it was a done deal. It's weird how they're batch ordering right now but I got into the next batch, so we'll see how long it takes.
It seems pretty cool though.
We'll see. You know, the
hey,
reviews.
You don't hear this, right? When I play this?
No.
What do you do? You won't hear it in StreamYard, but you'll hear it in vMix. Yeah. But it's
yeah, that's another question I want to ask before we tail out of here. So Lala says, okay, I think I've been procrastinating for a long time about editing videos. I want to repurpose my long content into more focused ones. I think that's a really, really solid.
Yeah, I heard her talking about this before, and I think that's a good idea.
I mean, she has a lot of content to purpose and repurpose, I imagine. So yeah. So good night, Lala. Everyone has been awesome.
Thanks, guys.
And Aaron bought the second 6,000 for 3 foot. Wow, that's right.
That's a great deal.
That's a great deal, my friend. And I'm happy with the purchase I bought. Of course, I bought the 6,400 new, but still happy with the price for what I got out of it. I'm a little bit unsure about. I don't know. I think the $19 HDMI card's fine. I feel like it's a little laggy at times, but it gets the job done for a B cam. I don't think spending $100 for a B cam HDMI is really worth it. I'm interested in A10 Mini. I just gotta figure out where in this process I may go.
I saw a Stream Deck for $90.
Did you really? How many keys?
15.
Yeah, that's a pretty good deal.
That's a good deal, right? It was gone in one day.
Yeah, but it was.
But I saw it right away. I could have.
Yeah. That's one of those deals you have to be like one of the first people to roll into.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm going to. My energy's good. I think, like you say, as good as keep things, pretty kind of just stay the ground, keep things kind of moving. Some days will be more productive than others. Try to reach out and send positive feelings for other people, which has been something that I've been going into other people's streams and doing, and it makes me feel good. And I'm hoping that it has an effect on people too. And I'm sure it does. And
it does, because look at Ricky coming into your stream.
Yeah, I really enjoyed his stream, but I was lovely that he came in and spent some time here. It's an honor, just like everybody else here that continues to come back from Brian, Lala, Aaron.
Yeah, that's our core,
It is. And Aaron, I will jump on your video. I'm excited to see more of your videos. And I think actually Aaron and I probably overlap in a lot of subtleties of the topics. I know that he's really, again, interested in Notion and some of these other things. And
yeah. And then once again, I know I say this all the time, but listen, there is time in a weekend. If somebody wants to jump into StreamYard and have a 3 or 4 group session, and we can talk about some stuff with, anything we want that's keeping us hung up, or what you're battling against, or just even to have positive feedback. We can do these things right now. Like, we don't have to wait.
Like in a private setting?
Yeah.
You're talking about, right? Right.
Yeah. Anyone could host it, and we can have, four of us in there and talk about anything. This way, it's a little tough sometimes to keep up with conversation when we got a bunch of people. But if there's I've been saying it for weeks, right, that I wanted to have like Brian, you and I.
Yeah.
So, but if anyone wanted to jump into there,
Aaron, Lala, or anybody wanted to jump in and have that conversation. Yeah. I'm really, most of the time I am really flexible. So I would love to be able to drop in on those kind of conversation. Would help me. And I think it would be valuable. I really do. And, just to keep coalescing around these issues and working through them. And also, it's just something, again, that John and I are very interested in, not just for ourselves, but as we move forward to trying to help other people. The more that we can have these conversations, the better we can address things, right?
And the thing is, I think what the one thing people will always respect about me is that if I tell you something, you better believe that it's not trying to butter someone's biscuit,
Yeah.
because
No, you're direct. Your advice, your opinion's going to be
I'm
on
opinionated.
point. You're going to be whatever it is what it is. So if it's not good, it was not good to you. If it was good,
but it's my personal opinion anyways, but I just think that I'm pretty spot on I do a lot of evaluation of my own stuff and what other people say about things.
Yeah.
And sometimes people don't even know it and they're doing stuff that's pretty engaging, and sometimes you don't see that all the time. And then it's surprising that when you see something, it kind of clicks in your head.
Yeah.
Like there's something going good here. And
Yeah.
so if I see something like someone did something but I'm not one of these guys that just like, I don't know, that goes around and tells.
You're not going to blow smoke.
I'm not, I can't do that.
No, I'm probably a little kinder and try to find something out of there.
There's good things everybody's doing,
because usually that's the case, right? There's something always good to pull out of there. It's only tough if somebody asks you a specific question and you're like, on that particular point, maybe I don't see it as really good. And so you have to make a decision, like you say, you're just going to say it. I'll try to be direct, but at times I'm not.
But you also have to ask yourself, like, what is the goal of that particular person? And sometimes I think that's what's important. Like when you realize that someone's like just doing this for fun, that's one thing. And if someone is really serious about growth and getting monetized, that's a whole different thing. So you have to be careful of where you're getting, your enthusiasm from.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. And you have to, I don't know, like I like to be challenged, at times, because I think being challenged really starts to create a little energy and really makes you think about a perspective you might have. Sort of getting back to the discussion we have about, are you sitting? Are you sitting around thinking it's not good enough? Or are you really doing something? Like, for example, a discussion like that can really be helpful because it can really grind a little bit. And sometimes you need that.
Well, here's the thing. I know you're not sitting. That's not the point. And that's not why I get a little in your whatever with this, right? That has nothing to do with it. Cause I know that's not the case. No, I'm just telling the whoever's watching or just us. I'm just saying that I know what you're going to do is going to come out fine. And I know that just getting it done is going to be a huge accomplishment. I want you to get to that point and then just get past that point and then move on to the next and just don't let anything stop you and just keep on going, keep improving.
No. And I agree 1,000%.
That's all. But listen,
and I know that's what I'm not saying you didn't. That's exactly how I feel it. That's how I received it. I just wanted to point that out to people that I really feel that sometimes having that discussion, like people need to be willing to hear something.
The hard things.
Sometimes the reaction is it's not meeting the intent of the message. You know what I mean? Like someone might hear that and go, "Oh, he's." You have to be. You got to be. I'm just saying, it's sometimes you got to be.
That's very true.
You got to be open to that and going. This is good spirit, and even though I feel like that's not the case, am I really being honest? Like I just think it's good to be held accountable. That's all.
Yeah, but no one knows what you're going through either, so it's not like you said that you had some issues with your dad. I mean, not everybody knows that, and you're not going to come on here and tell everybody this. So it's like
nobody hears sad story. Everybody has a sad story.
Right. Everybody's always going through something,
right, all the time. And so and people are pushing through, and I'm no different, and I'm doing that. Now you can try to tell people that. So you're like, hey, I get you. But you know what? At the end of the day, it's just fine to say, yep, we're working on it. We're doing it. Here's what we're doing. I mean, that's all good.
Yeah. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of that because I just, like you just said, everybody's going through stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So, everybody's got something.
I don't say, I got this going on or this.
Nobody needs to hear that.
We all have something.
We all have something, and I respect that. And so by me dropping that to me feels like an excuse because everybody's got that. So
I don't think it feels like an excuse, but it's just like
we're all doing something. We're
all
all
doing stuff.
Yeah, we're all trying to get there, and I'm trying to get there from here. I think it's good to have a sort of meet up and you saying, okay, well, how do you feel? Are you doing this because of X or Y? And it's like,
Listen,
I'm doing it because of
I
this.
see plenty of people that I know that are creators.
Yeah.
That haven't moved an inch in the last year.
I know. It's commonplace. Here's what I'll tell you between
all
you
of us, of us here are moving.
Right. I'll be honest with you. In my headspace, I want to, like, I'm so geared up to move forward. The only, and so I've set that past and I've set what I'm going to do here. But I mean, the truth of it is I'm like you, I just want to get past it. I want to get through it because I do have so many other things to say and do and try. And I am curious and I have wonderment and I have fun. And so I really am excited for the next.
That was another thing too, that I wanted to bring up that I forgot. It was in my track ahead when you were talking before, was that I also feel that being that I found Brian, you, Aaron, Mami Lala, like the people, our community here, Ash, Spoke Audio, like all these people, when you're going on this journey together and you're hitting accomplishments or whatever you're doing, it's much more fun with a group of people. So the journey becomes that much more fulfilling and fun.
Yeah.
To see a guy like a Robert make a video like that was unbelievable, and to have the people that we have stopping in here, giving great comments is crazy, so there's like a lot of good stuff going on here in general.
That's how we'll end, because it is true that everything that I've ever done in my life has been weird, from llamas to flower shops to being a musician to starting a tech company with a bunch of guys I met 20 years ago. Like, it's always been a little bit odd, and I realized not every one of them ended in the traditional sense of what you would consider success. Are you a millionaire? No. Are you super famous? No. Yet every one of them was a massive success because I was lucky enough to have people around me on those journeys that exist with me then, and maybe some of that ended, but a lot of them are still with me today in some way. But we had a great time around on the journey, and so for me, they're all successes.
Yeah, and we don't even know where this journey's going.
That's the beauty of it. That's the wonderment.
We don't even know. It just take it for what it is, and let's roll with it and see what it becomes. And that's the fun, because if it ended like 6 months from now or a year from now or 2 years from now, I'll still say we had a good time on the run, So
I like that, on the run. That'll be our song. We'll be like,
yeah, this is what it is. Like, just keep on going, see where it becomes. But also my goal is to not make it where it's like a drag, because it's gotta be fun.
It's powerful.
That's what we're going to talk about.
It's got to be fun.
Thursday.
It's a great way to end. Everybody, thank you so much for stopping. It ended up being just a really great conversation, honestly.
Yeah.
We love these conversations that sometimes move out beyond tech.
And then also, if anybody wants to jump in on anything,
yes, I know Aaron put out.
Yeah, listen, I got an email too, but if you guys find me on Facebook, that's not a problem. So John Ryan in New Jersey.
Does Aaron have you on Facebook? Well, he knows how to get in touch with you.
I don't think, but I got his email. So, but the thing is that we can get a group on maybe Saturday, but I really can't give you a time right now. So I have to see, because I also have to make sure that I get some family time in,
of course,
coming up. And I'm taking Thursday and Friday off, so I can do some more things with my family too. So, because it's just we have been so busy with everything. It's been crazy. So
we knew summer was going to be one of those things where it's like, we're going to have the minefields everywhere. Then we're just going to, and I'm happy with how we've dealt with it so far. I really think we've done a very good job.
Yeah, we've been consistent. That's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's easy to get out of it. And I feel like we've done that. We've also grown in our own ways as video content path, and as your content's grown. So I'm excited. It's a good time, man.
Yeah, absolutely. It's It's absolutely important. So, but listen,
All right.
there's our names.
They finally showed up. I don't know.
They showed up.
That makes no sense whatsoever. But all right, everybody. I want to get John to bed. I want to end on that. We will talk to you guys on Thursday. Let's see. We're going to talk. Well, we already talked about. We're going to talk about some community and some more of this stuff. And it's very exciting. So, all right, everybody. I'm going to head out. I'm going to let John get some sleep. And you guys get some sleep. Thank you so much for joining tonight. You guys make everything fun. So have fun. Talk to you guys soon. Oh, my gosh. Where's my window? There's my outro. We can do it. We can do this. Oh, my God.